Hello. I forgot there was an intro, but there we go. So, anyways, we are going to keep it very casual and candid today. We're going to converse about the rise in Punjabi nationalism, both within India as well as in Pakistan. Anyone who wishes to join the panel, please do. As we know, Punjab was divided into two parts in 1947. Another province which was divided was Bengal, but we don't see the same kind of nationalism coming out of Bengal or you can say Sindh as well as what we're seeing from Punjab. Now we're going to delve into this in a deeper way. So I'm going to first go to Aditya. Aditya, please go ahead.
Thank you for having me, Shah. And this discussion that we are having today is very interesting to me. Like, not in a long time. Like, I thought that I'll see a day when I'll see the Punjabis or the brotherhood of the two sides of the Punjab will rise in such a strong way that I've witnessed in the last 12 to 24 months. It wasn't imaginable that it will happen, but every passing day, I'm getting more and more stronger, like, uh, indications that it's happening. People from both the side of Punjab are warming up and they are trying to understand what the Punjabiyat or the undivided Punjab would have been or could be in the 21st century. They're exploring it, but we can also discuss about where these ideas fall short, what are the shortcomings of these ideas. But it's a very interesting thing to explore today. If new people also join us to talk about it, if we have somebody from Punjab who wants to discuss about it, it will be very interesting. But I'm very interested in exploring the idea of Punjabiyat and the warming up of two sides of the Punjab, which had, to be honest, a very bloody history just like 75 years ago when people from the same towns, and I'm not just blaming one side, but from the same localities, people of one religion, brutally murdered and uh, the word RAPED, women of the other communities, and 20 million people, 10 to 20 million people were reported to have died in a very short period. So it is to be seen that, what is happening and where do, we people, or as we discussed, where do we see this going? That's my understanding.
Ganga, nice to have you here. Can you introduce yourself, Ganga? I think Ganga is not audible. Ganga, there we go. Ganga is live. Ganga, please try and converse. Ganga.
Your Ganga is me, suddenly. Ganga is
Okay.
me.
Oh, KDG is here. KDG, I did leave a message for your.
I'm in the subway. I'm in the
Okay.
train. So
No worries. So, Ali Bhai, Ali Bhai, Ali Shabir, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. How are you today?
Fine and well. So Ali Bhai, we would like to basically begin by you because I think you're the most well versed and of Punjabi origin in regards to this particular subject. Would you please like to give us a reset in terms of history? Is Punjabi a ethnicity or is it based on region?
Well,
और पंजाबी
I would
कोई भी
like.
लैंग्वेज यूज हो सकती है इस स्ट्रीम के अंदर देयर
Can
इज नो
you?
कंपल्शन but because Noor is here and some people might not be conversational in Punjabi or Urdu so try and keep it in English but if you
Mhm.
can't it's fine.
Okay. Well, if you're talking about Punjabi, then I would not speak. I would not be able to speak any other language other than Punjabi. You know. So, but this is not my approach usually. You know, I prefer the other approach, which is reaching to more friends, making an impact on friends, rather than being a German and even knowingly English, not talking to strangers and helping them out. So my approach is the other way around. I My approach is to helping people, bringing them together, not lost in the ethnic or any identity, even it's nationalist or let's say in this case Punjabi. Anyway, uh, your question was, Shaji, is precisely about setting a context on what do you say the people those who are considering ethnically are Punjabis, or people those who speak Punjabi are considered. In my understanding and in a broader context, and knowing the pattern of the communities or different type of I would say races, ethnic groups are in present Punjab, all over the bigger Punjab. Okay, I would say anyone who speaks well enough Punjabi, or even trying to know Punjabi and calling himself Punjabi, is a Punjabi. So this is a Punjabi ethnic group is way bigger than definition is way broader than the traditional so-called ethnic understanding we have. So it was very clear from my side, Shaji, what I believe. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
So,
So
Ali bhai, it's more of a linguistic identity than a regional identity, according to you. Or do you think there's an element of ethnicity to the identity of Punjabi? Where do you draw the line? Like, which
That
do
is
you
the
think is
later
more
one is
important?
correct. Aditya, you mentioned it very beautifully. Actually, the last one, what you mentioned, I draw my lines there. Well, actually, I don't draw my lines, but that is the area where I'm more comfortable about Punjabis.
this whole thing in regards to, according to you, anyone who can converse in Punjabi is a Punjabi. So, would you consider somebody like Imran Khan to be a Punjabi?
I wanted to say it again. Anyone who is even trying to speak Punjabi and he believes that he is Punjabi and he is, for example, some of my friends, especially some of my younger friends, like you guys, they are not very fluent in. I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about most of my other friends. They are very they are very convenient in Urdu. Even they are Punjabi, their parents are Punjabi, all with those identities, and they cannot practice Punjabi in speaking as good as they wanted to. Even they cannot try. Even their Punjabi is that low. I consider them as Punjabi also. Aditya has actually really helped me by saying it. Those who are considering themselves Punjabis, and the line, the comfort area is for me those who are calling them Punjabis and they believe like they are trying to put effort into learning Punjabi or putting them Punjabi together. They are Punjabi enough for me, and there is a reason why I believe in this.
What's the reason you believe in this?
Well, it's a very simple. Lot of communities, especially I know, actually, for example, for your audience, Arabs. Okay, of course, I'm not gonna talk about the. We are already talking about Punjabis. That's why I want to borrow example from outside the subcontinent. So, for example, Arabs, where you draw their Arabic ethnic group. Do you want to drop them to Egypt, or you want to drop them to you want to draw the line from to till Egypt or till Sudan, or you want to draw the line till Yemen or where? And all of them speaking Arabic. So what's big deal? That's why I'm more comfortable in what Aditya took my words, but which I didn't say. Like he dropped those similar words which I wanted to. So thank you, Aditya, third time.
Ali bhai, I have another question for you regarding the identity understanding of the Punjabi that we are seeing lately. So, like, what according to you is the goal of the people who want to promote the Punjabi identity, the Punjabi culture? Where do you want to see this going, and where in what path do you see that this growing, and like what is the ultimate goal of like trying to get back to the roots and like encouraging people to like be proud of the Punjabi identity? What is the ultimate goal of this Punjabi nationalism that we are seeing? Like where do you think it's going? Ali bhai, your mic is off.
Your
Sorry.
mic is muted.
Sorry, beautiful question, Ditya. Beautiful question. Uh, I would like to answer, Aditya, your question first of all by telling you what I not believe, or what the goal I don't want, and I don't see that ultimate thing for any, especially for Punjabi ethnic groups, so called, what you are trying to say, or Punjabis, let's say, for Punjabis, is this: that I do not want Punjabis to, in order to reaching their ultimate goal, depressing other identities, other ethnic groups, precisely. Like for example, अब हम पंजाबी आ गए हैं ते ਅਸੀਂ ਲੁੱਟ ਪਾ ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੋਈ ਉਹ ਗੁਜਰਾਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਉਹ मराठा नहीं तो कोई तामिल नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है। वी वांटेड, और ख़ास तौर पे कोई पख्तून नहीं है, सिंधी नहीं है, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है। This is what my ultimate goal, at least not to depress any other identity or any other ethnic, and taking them with us. So the problem is, the reason I'm emphasizing on this, Aditya, because of one reason only. Okay, many times most of the identity sorry most of the linguistic, because you used a very fancy term, linguistic, this is a very wider term, and we are still struggling in this domain. Scientists are struggling, historians are struggling, though we have a generic view of linguistic techniques. And let me add this to your audience. Am I audible? My sound is clear,
Yeah,
like, okay,
yes.
Yes,
okay,
yes, it's
okay,
perfectly
okay,
fine. And it's
okay.
very
Aditya,
interesting what you're saying. Take your time.
thank you, thank you, Aditya. The idea is this: most of my Punjabi friends, and most of, let's say, my Bengali friends, or most of my German friends, okay, when they wanted to talk about the I don't want to say Ethiopian, but they wanted to talk about how best they are in the world, and the only top race they are by speaking Punjabi, and rest of everyone is below because this is their mother tongue. Actually, I want you to, I want kindly, Ditya, I want you to be focused with me. Okay, I'm gonna say something thinner, and then I will expand on it. Okay. The real competition and the difference is not between the people, those who are competing against my mother tongue is better than your mother tongue. Actually, the real difference is between celebrating mother. Okay. So, anyone, a guy from Bengal, a guy from German comes to me, and uh, he shine his language in front of me, saying because he loves his mother, that's why he's celebrating, rather than saying his mother is better than your mother. This is the competition should be there. This is the actually real difference, because being a Punjabi, the moment I'm started saying that my Punjabi is better than anyone else, that's what where I do wrong. When I celebrate that being a Bengali guy, he's loving his mother tongue, and the real respect comes from there. And that line, that narrative, or that approach makes me celebrate above the line where I'm saying Punjabi is at second level here, and the first mother is more important than the Punjabi. This is the real my final line I draws. Does this help, Aditya, to your audience, or
It
you're
does, Ali
lost
bhai,
more like?
but Ali bhai, it does. But let's be honest, the kind of the Punjabi nationalist, even you have come across lately, especially on if you have been on Twitter, there is an element of superiority complex they discuss about the the historical Punjabi heroes, they talk about porous, and they talk about how it was the only shield against the greater Hindustan that protected it from the from invaders. They talk about their heroes. They talk about the how great their poetry has been. It was better than any other poetry that subcontinent has ever witnessed. They talk about historical figure. They talk about how our our heroes, even if they talk about Ranjit Singh, they say that how they try to bring all the religions and all the people together. There is an element of superiority complex. If you can disagree, but what are your views about those ethnic superiority mindset people?
Well, Aditya, see the superiority complex you are talking about. So for those guys, I wanted to start with an example. I think your question is it looks one for audience, but actually, if I deconstruct your question, there are two parts there. Okay, one is superior complex. Okay, I will start with this example that Noor here in this room, Noor, Maham, and Shaji and Aditya, everyone else in this room are actually came in this room to paint on the walls and fix my sofas. And all of you guys are way lower. I'm the only superior guy here. So the treatment for this kind of guy, in this case me, is not a debate or discourse, is something else. But might be the best part. Maham can or Shaji can kick me out from this room. So this is the answer to your superiority part of your question. And second, on the facts and on practical thing, yes, there are people. We are seeing this rise of nationalism. Even if you are complaining about, you are not, but let's say if you are complaining about Punjabi nationalist, okay, how the supremacy, okay, Punjabi supremacy, you have not seen Sindhi supremacy. You have not seen Tamil supremacy. So uh, उसका इलाज जैसा मुंह वैसी चपेड़ ओके सो उनका इलाज जो सुपीरियर सुप्रीमेसी वाले हैं ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੇ ethnic group ਕੀ we are talking about separately the conversation we are having more kind of
So,
linguistic approach.
Ali Bhai, I'm just going to bring in Noor into the conversation because I think it's very interesting that she's here. And Bengal happens to be the other large province in 1947, which basically got divided. But Noor, do you see a contrast or between the Indian Bengal and the Bangladeshi Bengalis in terms of culture or anything, or is there an affinity between the two groups, or is there a difference?
Yeah, there is a big difference actually. Firstly, we're more like nationalistic. We live in a more nationalistic country because we only have one major ethnicity, right? But in
Noor, you're not
India,
audible, I guess.
No,
sorry,
Noor is audible. I can hear her.
yeah,
It's
but in India, the Bengalis, West Bengalis are like a minority. They're a minority, so they kind of are in the sideline in a little bit because they kind of get overshadowed by the more not senior, but like the big parties like the Marathis or the North Indians or whatever. So they're kind of sidelined a little bit, and because of that, their culture is not, although our culture is very similar, it's not very much expressed. So they don't do certain things that they probably should do, like speaking the language. So the food they're eating, the language, how they speak as well is very different because they have to cater to the people in that country. While we don't do that, so obviously we are the majority, so we speak how we like. Basically we kind of dictate how the country kind of is controlled. And I think this is similar with the Punjabis in the Pakistani side. They are more the bigger party, like the bigger ethnicity inside Pakistan, and similarly in the Punjab of India, they're more smaller, so they kind of get sidelined a little bit. So like what I'm trying to say is in my culture we kind of have a big difference because the Indian side people that they're more marginalized, not in a bad way, but they wanted to be there, so they are living in a country which they kind of share with other ethnicities, like 20, 30 different ethnicities, but we don't have that. So yeah, I would say there's a big difference in how we are kind of are as a people, just how it is.
No, but no, do you see similarities between the rising nationalism of the Punjabi identity? Do you see anything similar that is growing up in the Bengal side of India and Bangladesh?
Uh, yeah, I do, but it's not like the Pakistanis or the Punjabi, sorry, it's not the similar. It's more like they the West Bengali Hindus mainly, Bengali Hindus, right? They kind of blame us for a lot of things, and because of that, their nationalism is based on protecting their identity somehow. So yeah, there is a nationality, like sorry, kind of in a way they do kind of have that sort of ethnic superiority because they claim to be the original religion and original people, and we're kind of, as they call us, converted. um so yeah, there is that with the in Hindus, but in terms of Bangladeshi Muslims, like the Bangladeshi people in general, I don't think we have a competition with anybody. We don't consider anyone a competitor. We did have it obviously in the past. In 1971, for example, we had a competitor, meaning the other side, which is West Pakistan. We had that, but now we don't have anybody. It's just into like fighting whatever between different parties and groups or whatever. But it's not like ethnic fighting, like, oh, my culture has to be preserved, or my identity needs to be saved, or something like that, because there's nothing to save. It's like we're all the same people.
So,
I
so
think,
a question
yes,
to
Ram.
Noor, as and I would like Ali Bhai to answer the same question as well. When I look at India, the again, like Noor rightfully mentioned, that Bengalis happen to be a minority within India, and so do the Punjabis. But when we look at the Indian Punjabis, for instance, what we see is that they seem to be very prominent and they are very much more aggressive
Mm.
uh, compared to the Bengalis of India, uh, even though both were divided. But when we uh, uh, consider that situation, why do you think, Noor, first you, why that difference is, and um, why it's not the case for Punjabis can be answered by Ali Shabir, and we've got new speakers as well. Go ahead, Noor.
No, sorry, what was the question? Why do you think Bengalis are what?
So Bengalis within India
Yeah.
are not as prominent and aggressive as Punjabis in India, or dominant would be the better
Well, they
word.
have is an easier way to put it. They have subservient culture, meaning it's my culture as well. We kind of let others have the shine. Basically, Bengalis are basically not very timid, but they just let other people get on with it. So they don't really care as long as they got their house, their job, their family, whatever. They don't look at the bigger picture. But I think the nationalism is kind of dying a little bit day by day in our culture, like especially the Bengalis in India. They don't stand up for anything that they believe in. If I'm being honest, like their language is kind of diluted. Their headquarters, meaning Calcutta, was the head of the whole of Bengal, and also even like in India, like Mughal times and whatever, Bengal, like the Calcutta area, was supposed to be considered the head, and then now what they've done is they've made New Delhi as like their headquarters, or what, like, this major city is now in New Delhi. All their jobs are going to Bangalore. So the thing is, Bengalis, they don't know how to fight for their rights unless there's somebody that comes and tells them, you have to come and do this, you have to stand up for yourself. And that's why you see a lot of resistance. One or two people who might come up and stand up and say, we don't want this, or we want this, can you stand up? Like, it's more like a sheep or herd mentality. So unlike the Punjabis, who are more like individualistic, where they want to do something, or they will all stand up for something that they believe in. We don't really have that in comparison.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, Ali Bhai, would you agree with that, or why do you think? And let me add a part to this, Ali Bhai, which is more interesting, is that when we look at the Pakistani Punjabis, where Pakistan they happen to be the majority, why a lot of them did the opposite. Unlike the Indian Punjabis, the Pakistani Punjabis stopped speaking their language in many cases, and for a while. I think it's reviving now. But if, for instance, we were to say that somebody or a group who kept Punjabi alive or made it a globally recognized community happens to be the Indian Sikh Punjabis, or the Hindu Punjabis of India, would you agree with that? Go ahead, speak.
I totally disagree with this. Actually, the reason there is from the last part, but again, I have two questions to answer, and those two are very different. First, if you allow me to, I just wanted to share my thoughts about what Noor mentioned. I would say, sorry, Noor, I don't want to say sorry, but I see other way around what you just mentioned. I don't see I have to use Punjabi slang here, not slang, a Punjabi theme. The Ghayur Bengalis, the very brave Bengalis. I don't see the West Bengalis in India are lesser braver than the Punjabis, and I don't see there is an individual issue problem as well. The whole difference is the core struggle on what they are being considered aggressively, which I don't see they are aggressive. Obviously their actions are aggressive, but there is a bigger denominator here which you guys have forgotten here. Okay. And when there is a trend, or there is a coin which is ongoing on, or let me say in a funny way, if you allow me to, that the fashion was not the linguistics. That was not the trend. The trend was and is in subcontinent is religion. It's not Bengali or Punjabi. So the tickets which people have taken and bought, like Aditya, me, and everyone else in subcontinent, is to watch the show based on religion basis, not on linguistic basis. Because there are so many ethnic groups, Gujarati, Tamil, Marathas, Pashtuns. I don't know Pashtuns exist. Yeah, they exist in Afghanistan maybe. I'm not sure. I'm
Yes,
just
there
kidding.
are few in
Anyway,
Afghanistan,
I'm
Pashtun.
just really there are Pashtuns in Pakistan. I
I've
forgot. I
heard
thought
about
like
it,
Punjab is taken over. I'm
but
just
Yes, we
because they
are
kidding.
don't
gone.
have
From
We
internet,
are
so
I
we
just
can't be
extinct.
wanted to hear
sure.
from
We are
Mara.
extinct.
Yes, we are doing our best. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding to my
In terms
viewers.
of the show,
Let me just
Ali Bhai, it's just a
sorry,
small thing.
Shaji, I
In
got
terms of the show,
okay. All
on
right,
the
Charlie.
screen only, Bengal and Punjab exist right now. Everyone else is
Yes, this is
extinct.
amazing.
It's
That's why
Noor and Ali Shabir.
that's
Go
why you
ahead,
wanted
carry
that.
on.
And I appreciate that. This is exactly where I was heading on. Okay, the largest two groups in subcontinent by far, there are only two of us, Noor and me. Everyone else in this room has to go pack their stuff and go home because you guys don't matter. I just kidding, on a serious note, the ticket which everyone in subcontinent has bought to watch the show was a religion based, and that religion was Islam and non-Islamic. And guess what? Non-Islamic is wrong term. Islam and Hinduism. But on the third side, Sikhs, they had a full religion, and they were also contesting this show as well. Okay, somehow the people of subcontinent mentioned and got towards only Hindu and Islam, but they forgot the third factor. Sikhism was there, and people has thought back in the partition times that we have to come up with this issue with also that in subcontinent we are not two nations, there are three nations: Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs as well. So the reason you see Sikhs are struggling more about their existence because of their religion, which I highly respect, that which that right has not given to them. And now this is the reason, because when someone is struggling and that core struggle is coming from the religious thoughts or beliefs, the struggle goes into different way, not like the way Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs struggle. Marathi, Bengali, and Tamil will not able to fight. I hope I made some sense here, and I would love to listen to your friends on this. Second part, what you, Shaji, mentioned, I think I will expand on this in later. There I see the other friends has came. Ganga, I see Ganga has came, and so yeah.
Yeah,
If you want me to answer your
wait a
second
minute.
question, I'll ask
Listen,
later.
guys. Hi, Sajay. My friend Apar wants to say something. How are you, Sabir Bhai? Apar, come here. Come here. Don't be stupid. Come here. यार बड़ा पागल आदमी है अपार इधर आ अरे यार वो अभी था यहाँ पर वो गायब हो गया वो दिन
शर्मा हो गया बेचारा शर्मा हो गया
यार
Sorry.
वो अच्छा बात सुनो ये पंजाबियत क्या चीज सबीर भाई कैसे हो यार ये पंजाबियत वगैरह कुछ नहीं है यू नो बी नॉर्मल बी रेगुलर बी अ प्रॉपर पर्सन ये क्या है फॉल्स आईडी लगी हुई है मैं पंजाबी हूँ तो मैं राजपूत हूँ आप कौन सा राजपूत है
हाँ जी सर क्या हाल चाल है भाई
ठीक ठाक आप कैसे हैं?
बस सब ठीक हम तो इंसान है इंसान पैदाइश
सही
से
है
इंसान
तो अली भाई आपने सुन लिया केडी भाई ने कहा है इंसान बने पंजाबी नहीं
जी जी, मैं इन
पैदाइश
इंसानों के
इंसान
लिए
है
जी, मैं अभी सेट करने लगा हूँ सब इंसानों
अच्छा
को। मैं इंसानों के लिए यहाँ आया हूँ। और
ये
गंगा
राजनीति
जी,
नहीं करते हैं
गंगा जी, आप अलाउ मी टू से 2 वर्ड्स फॉर आवर फ्रेंड एज वेल। गंगा, ये आपके साथ जो दोस्त है इनका नाम क्या है? सॉरी।
ये है वो यार जडेजा क्रिकेटर नहीं है जडेजा
जी जडेजा
वो
जी,
उसके भाई
जडेजा
हैं
भाई।
ये दैट्स हिज
देखें,
ब्रदर क्रिकेटर के
प्लेजर जडेजा भाई और गंगा भाई के लिए। जी जडेजा भाई, आपके लिए मुझे एक बात। ओके 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 शाह जी, आपकी ऑडियंस के लिए एक मैं छोटी लाइन, बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन बताने जा रहा हूँ कि अगर ये जडेजा साहब सुन रहे हो, गंगा जी, ये जडेजा साहब सुन रहे हैं मुझे?
ना जे इधर है जे तो को आया हुआ है
जी थोड़ा वो सुन ले मुझे, मैं थोड़ी देर बात करता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे इस पे बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात करनी है, इस टॉपिक के ऊपर जो आपने आइडेंटिटी की बात की है।
जय साहब अपने एक रेस्टोरेंट चला रहे हैं मैनहट्टन में तो ये वो है को जो क्रिकेटर हैं उनके वो भाई उनके
सही so Ali bhai go ahead continue with the conversation and
चले ठीक है,
everything
हमारी तो
ऐसा है
रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही
हम
है। देखिए
बिल्कुल
मैं
इंडिया में ना हम लोग बहुत तंग आ चुके हैं ये पंजाबी
जी
नाम से ना इंडिया वाले बहुत तंग है
जी मैं अर्ज
हम
करता हूँ।
चाहते हैं सब वो एक नॉर्मल रहें इंसान बनकर रहें
गंगा जी, हम पाकिस्तानी भी बहुत तंग है पंजाबियों से।
यार ये क्या हो रहा है अली भाई यू सीम सो सिविलाइज्ड एंड वेल मैनर्ड और लोग आपको कह रहे हैं इंसान बने पंजाबी नहीं व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन
जी मैं इसी के लिए चाह रहा हूँ कि मुझे 2 मिनट दें। आप जब ये हमारे गंगा भाई और जब हमारे ये जो जडेजा भाई आ जाते हैं, और हम इन तीनों के लिए मैं एड्रेस कर, आप भी में शामिल है क्योंकि आपने भी इंसान बनने की बात की है, तो मैं इसके ऊपर बात
नहीं
करना
गंगा
चाहता
भाई
हूँ।
ने कहा
आप
है मैंने रिपीट किया है बस
जी गंगा साहब चले गए हैं, अभी आते हैं तो उनके साथ
अच्छा
बात है।
वो यहाँ पर एक वो हमारी लेडी दोस्त हैं श्री जी वो आई हैं क्या भी यहाँ
नहीं जी अभी वो आ जाएंगी
मैंने
गंगा
उनको वो भेजा है कि वो आपका इनविटेशन
ये
फॉरवर्ड किया है
अद्या कौन है ये, अगर वो हो सकता
Yes,
हो ये?
yes, it's me. Hi, KD.
oh it's
Are you
Hi,
there?
Shadi. Yes,
okay
yes, I'm here. I'm here.
How-
Hello,
how-
hello, Ali.
हाय दिया, हाउ आर यू?
So
Okay.
Ganga ji, let us continue with the conversation and then you pitch in. So
अच्छा,
Ali bhai, go ahead and converse.
जी
Let's
गंगा
get
जी, मेरी बात, गंगा जी स्क्रीन ऑन कर लें, आपको मैंने इंसान के ऊपर जवाब देना है। ठीक है गंगा जी, ये जो आपने इंसान की बात बताई है ना, तो कि आप इंसान हैं, ना तो आप पंजाबी हैं, ना तो आप हिंदू हैं, ना तो आप जाट हैं, ना तो आप हरियाणा से हैं, ना तो आपका कोई लीगल प्रॉब्लम है, ना आप किसी सिटी से हैं, आप सिर्फ इंसान हैं। ठीक है, तो ये प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में मैं आपकी शाजी की ऑडियंस को बताना चाहता हूँ कि ये एब्सोल्युटली रॉन्ग अप्रोच है, और जब जितनी भी आज तक प्रॉब्लम्स हैं शायद इसी वजह से हैं, और गंगा जी और जडेजा जी की इसी प्रॉब्लम की वजह से हमारा पूरा प्लेनेट जो है वो प्रॉब्लम में आ चुका है। और गंगा जी ने ये इस तरह के दोस्तों ने इंसान इंसान की इतनी रट लगाई है और इंसान को इतना ऊपर कर दिया है कि दूसरी जितनी भी स्पीशीज हैं वर्ल्ड में उसकी वाट लगा दी है और इस प्लैनेट को खराब कर दिया है। इनके लिए इंसान बहुत बड़ा है, अफजल है, और गंगा जी के लिए जानवर बहुत छोटे हैं, इसलिए वो जानवरों को मारें, उनको खाएं, उनका एनवायरमेंटल खराब करें। इस प्लैनेट गया भाड़ में। उनकी ये अप्रोच है कि यही स्पीशीज होगी जो सबको खा जाएगी, यहाँ प्लैनेट को खराब करके मार्स पे चली जाएगी। तो ये एक जो लिमिटेड अप्रोच है, ओनली ह्यूमंस और ओनली ये वाले होमोसेपियंस, ये भी एक लिमिटेड अप्रोच है। जी गंगा जी, आप इसके ऊपर चर्चा कर लें कुछ।
Just, I'll let you guys go and just continue with your talks. I don't believe in Punjabiyat. I don't believe in any Amiyat, any caste, any religion. I don't believe in this.
Ganga ji, this is not the question here. This is not the question here. The question was, is there anything above humans? I have just happened to mention that.
Ali Bhai, I think Gangaji is in a different mood. He's outside right now, so I think we'll wait for him to
और
come
मेरी
back.
इतनी एनर्जी लगवा दी है, इतने
अरे
मेरे
यार
जुमले
एक
आपने
मेरी मेरी
सेंटेंस।
बात सुनो, मेरे लिए श्री जी हैं वो I think she'll be my champion. So I think
Definitely.
she might
That
have some deflected views about it. मेरे views कुछ और तरह के हैं.
सही है, चलें, कोई मसला नहीं. So Ali Bhai, you brought in a very good aspect to
अरे यार
this.
वो मेरा मेरा फ्रेंड है, ये बोलेगा पंजाबी के ऊपर क्या तुम्हारी राय पंजाबी के ऊपर? बोलो पंजाबी के ऊपर राय बोलो।
पंजाबी को ऐसे थोड़ी सुना भाई।
तो ऐसे पता नहीं है कि पंजाबी जो पाकिस्तान दी पंजाबीयत है, पंजाबी
अच्छा,
हिंदुस्तान दी पंजाबीयत
नहीं वो तो है, डिफरेंस बहुत है, मतलब पाकिस्तान ਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਹੈ। ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਲਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦਿਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਮਤਲਬ ਦਿਲ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਦਿਮਾਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ। ਬਈ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਰ
चलें जी, शुक्रिया.
ये बॉडी बिल्डर है हमारा यहाँ का।
ठीक है, गंगा जी आप फ्री हो जाएं तो आप आएं. ठीक है, let us continue with the conversation. So Ali bhai, you brought in a very interesting aspect. So do you think the reason for aggression or this prominence within the Indian Punjabis compared to the Pakistani Punjabis is that they were overlooked in aspect of religion? You're muted. You're muted again.
Sorry. Shachi, the point I mentioned earlier also, because most of your questions are based on facts, and I'm coming from not about facts, but I'm coming from what should be the approach. Okay, facts are many. Facts are these, that there are many people here, those who are feeling superior because on one another person because of their religion or because of their ethnic. Okay, they does exist. We are seeing in what is happening in India, or like for especially on what's happening with Muslims, or what's happening in what Maham is doing with few of her community members. So these are examples all over the world. My approach is this thing: um, the choice most of the people in subcontinent had made in 1940s, okay, that they wanted to watch the show on a religion ticket. Okay, so that was the ultimate divide. If some Pakhtun or some Pakhtun from Afghanistan or Pakhtun from Pakistan comes and they, hey, I want to cancel this thing, I want to play Pakhtun card, that is not in fashion anymore. So you got to stick with religion card. You are most welcome. Just denounce the kalma and be Pakhtun and welcome. I'll be happy for you guys.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to bring in Adya now. Adya, welcome to the panel. This is the first time you're here, and you happen to be of Punjabi background. Same question to you. Why do you feel that even though Bengal was also divided into two, why Indian Bengalis are not as prominent or dominant, or you can say as aggressive as the Indian Punjabis when it comes to like being Indian and the ethnic thing? Go ahead. You can
Hi.
speak in
Okay.
any language you're comfortable.
All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. See, there is a difference here. When it comes to Bengalis, there are mainly two religions, which is Hinduism and Islam, right? Whereas the Punjab is concerned, there is Hinduism, there is Islam, and there's a new religion called Sikhism, and they are still trying to establish their might in the land, right? They definitely are speaking in Punjabi, but they're writing in Gurmukhi. They had to bring in their own script. For example, when it comes to their religious holy book, it's not in Punjabi, but it's written in Gurmukhi. However, the languages are Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, few other languages have been used. So I think they are still trying to struggle with their identity because they are confused whether they want to go with the Sikh identity or the Punjabi identity. Now, the differentiation here is when they talk about the Punjabi identity, uh, there is somewhere an inferiority complex that there are other religions well established in the land, whereas they want to have a supremacy. So there is a struggle within Sikhism, due to which you see the difference, and the aggression is coming just from there. It is a very small community in India. It's a minority community in India, yet it's very pampered. Pampered by the people, pampered by the government. The kind of approach that you see in India towards other religions, even including the Hinduism, you will not see that towards Sikhism. For the same reason, because they are pampered. So they are taking that advantage, but at the same time, they also want to go on international forum. They're trying to use all the resources so that they can rule the land. Uh, they claim the language to be their own language, which is a good thing, but somehow it comes from the prism of power. You know, there's after the independence and the division, they came up with the Punjabi Suba movement, where they broke the state of Punjab into three pieces. That was the Punjab, which is, as you see now in India on the Indian map. There is Haryana and there is Himachal. And then we have a struggle for our capital, Chandigarh. It's hanging between Haryana and Punjab. So for Hindus, and I think somewhere even for the Muslims, they have a bit of clarity with the language. But the Sikhs are still struggling, and that's where the aggression comes from. So I hope I was able to put it, nicely. And I don't know
But
if I made sense. Uh-huh.
the question is very interesting. Think that Hindu Punjabis or even those people known as Haryanvis are very prominent in India as well, more prominent than a lot of people. Again, they're part of that global culture in terms of music and everything else. I think if you go anywhere around the globe, you'll come across people knowing that yes, Sikhs are part of Punjab and they are Punjabis in that dominant sense. But I think even Hindu Punjabis are very dominant. They're not as passive and quiet as you might say a Bengali might be. Or,
Yeah, no, 100%. There's no doubt about it. They're very prominent. In fact, the majority of the Punjabi celebrities that you see towards the Indian side, their majority are the Hindu Punjabis. When it comes to culture, when it comes to the language, the majority of the contribution does come from the Hindu Punjabi community. Um, the Sikhs are mostly famous because of the songs, the kind of beat that they use, which is very kind of attractive to the youth and to the parties. But that being said, the Hindus are not confused identity in Punjab. Somewhere the Sikhs are still struggling. They're not able to differentiate between the identity of being the Sikh or being a Punjabi. They have their own struggle going on.
but would you agree with the fact that majority of Punjabis, even though they are a minority in India, uh, are comfortable being Punjabi and they speak their own language, listen to their own songs, have a culture going, and they're pretty proud of it. And the reason why I asked that, and I'm going to bring in Dr. Furqan into this conversation as well, is because when I look at the culture across the border in Pakistani Punjab, the Punjab in Pakistan happens to be the largest province, but we don't see the Pakistani Punjabis propagating the Punjabi culture till very recently. Many of them felt ashamed in terms of conversing in their own language. Many of their children do not converse in Punjabi, they don't speak Punjabi. And now you've got a generation within the heart of Pakistani Punjab who happen to be Punjabis in terms of where they reside and where they live, but they cannot speak Punjabi. Why is that? They were supposed to be. That's a very interesting thing that across the border, where Punjabis happen to be of two different religions, they have further been divided in terms of province, yet the culture is thriving. And it's not just thriving within India, the Punjabi culture is thriving globally from that region. But when we look at Pakistani Punjab, what you see is that they are distancing or have distanced themselves from what is
Shati, the politics of the country has a major role to play, you know, and sometimes the population or the regional states, they fall for the agenda of the state, and I think that's what happened with Punjab. Urdu was seen as the what do you call, you know, the trendy language. That's how it was portrayed, you know, the language of Nawabs and whatnot. And I think maybe that was also the basis, kind of a, you know, a part of your the movement to create a Pakistan. I think that could be a reason. As far as the Indian Punjab is concerned, the language is the tool now for the Sikh politics, which is being used for their, you know, to fulfill their agendas, be it a separate state, you know, to break the state in three parts, or even to demand a separate state, like a separatism, the issue of separatism. So that's what it is. But I'm glad that the Punjabis on the Pakistani side are realizing that, you know, they have their own language. And Punjabi is not the language; it actually is a civilizational language. You know, it has its own culture. It comes from Prakrit, which again comes from the Vedic Sanskrit. You know, so it has its origin to the Vedas as well. It's a very old and civilizational language. It's not just maybe, you know, 1,000 years old language, or more than that, 5,000 maybe. So there's a
Can I
deep cultural value to it. Hanji, yes, please.
can I add something to this? I'm gonna be very honest about it. The reason that Pakistani Punjabis
I
don't
think we
accept their
should
religion,
also take
accept,
views
guys, don't
from.
over talk each other when one person
I
has
think
started.
Aditya didn't hear me. Aditya's internet may be bad.
Yeah,
But anyway,
now I can hear her. Yeah.
I think let's just be very open about it. The reason that Pakistani Punjabi do not accept their did not used to accept their Punjabi culture as much was because they thought it was a Hindu culture. They consider it an Indian thing. So they, in order to look more Muslim, they want to leave their culture behind. Let's just be real about this.
That's very sad, Medusa, because in a way, even Urdu comes from the same region. You know, Urdu is very much Indian. That's how I see it, because it comes from the same background. Punjabi, yes, Punjabi is one of the oldest languages. Again, you know, mentioned earlier that it comes from the Vedic Sanskrit, the Prakrit, and then Prakrit evolved into Punjabi. We have different lipis. For example, I think on the Pakistani side, you write a different lipi, and on our side, we right now we are writing in Gurmukhi. Gurmukhi is the one which was created by the Sikh gurus with the help of the Kashmiri Brahmins. So there definitely is a way to adapt the language, but consider saying that it's a Hindu language. The subcontinent itself is a Hindu subcontinent because of the cultural values.
Yeah,
You know.
I understand, Devi. I understand.
Yeah.
I entirely understand. But I'm talking to you about from the mentality of an average Punjabi of that time. Now they're coming back to accepting their culture. But back then, the problem was that they thought that being more Punjabi would just make them look more Hindu or related to India. That's why they used to do that. They used to separate themselves from there.
Yeah. No. I understood that. And I think
So,
somewhere I see a change on the Pakistani side. They are relating themselves to the culture of the land, which is a good thing. It will help with identity.
I think everyone's had a comment yet in regards to this, other than two Pakistani Gabru Punjabis on the screen right now, Dr. Furqan and Ali Shabir. So first I'm going to go to Dr. Furqan and then Ali Shabir with the same question, and then let's see what they basically state. Would you agree with what Mohammed Devi has said, Dr. Furqan, or do you have a different take?
Like I would go back and say I would converse in Urdu or Punjabi because otherwise we'll still in the colonial hangover and talking in English. आप ये देख सकते हैं कि जब भी किसी ने हिंदुस्तान को आके फतह करने की बात की है, वो लाहौर या दिल्ली की बात करता है, उधर एम्पायर बनाएगा तो कहेगा कि मैंने पूरा सब कॉन्टिनेंट कॉन्कर किया. ठीक है, तो पंजाबीज के अंदर बहुत से लोग इन्वेडर्स आते रहे. वो ये नहीं कहते कि कलकत्ता में जिसने एम्पायर बनाई, ब्रिटिश भी आया जब उसने दिल्ली या कहीं इस तरह की जगह पे कॉन्कर करके किया, तो उसने कहा मैंने सब कॉन्टिनेंट कॉन्कर किया. अफगान्स आए, उन्होंने भी कहा जब दिल्ली फतह किया तो हमने सब कॉन्टिनेंट फतह किया. मुगल्स आए, उन्होंने भी कहा दिल्ली में एम्पायर बनाई तो किया. तो पंजाब इज द हार्ट ऑफ सब कॉन्टिनेंट. ये आप एक चीज दिमाग में बैठा ले, ये हिस्टोरिकली चल रहा है, इट्स नॉट जस्ट अभी का. एम्पायर आपकी हमेशा से पंजाब से कंट्रोल होती रही है सब कॉन्टिनेंट की, और इधर से ही होती रहेगी क्योंकि दैट इज द हार्ट ऑफ सब कॉन्टिनेंट. तो उसकी लैंग्वेज में जो मसले आते रहे हैं, जब इन्वेटर्स आते हैं, बहुत से और भी मसाइल आते हैं. इन टर्म्स ऑफ लैंग्वेज देयर इज अ ट्रांजिशन कि आपकी जो ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज है वो क्या होगी, बाकी क्या होगी. और ब्रिटिशर्स का भी जब आए हैं तो उन्होंने आप कॉलोनियल पास देख लें, उन्होंने लैंग्वेजेस के साथ क्या किया है, नेटिव्स के साथ क्या किया है. उन्होंने आके एम्पायर अपनी बनाई पंजाब में है. उन्होंने पंजाबियों की लैंग्वेज को कहा कि ये पेंडुओं की लैंग्वेज है. ये हमें कहां से मिला, हालांकि इट्स जस्ट अ लैंग्वेज. अब पश्तून अपनी दो पश्तून खड़े होके बात करते हैं ना, वो अपनी लैंग्वेज बोलते हैं. दो पंजाबी खड़े होके बोलेंगे, वो कहेंगे पेंडू लग रहे हैं. ठीक है, ये कहां से परसेप्शन है, ये गोरों ने हमें डाला है. हमारे नेटिव्स फिर उसी को लेके चल रहे हैं. इफ मैं और भट्टी साहब इफ वी स्टार्ट कन्वर्सिंग इन पंजाबी तो हमें कहेंगे पेंडू हैं, नहीं है, दैट्स द लैंग्वेज हम बोल रहे हैं. और ये लैंग्वेज की नहीं है, जो ये इन्होंने सिखी को और उसको एक लैंग्वेज की टर्म्स में, और बाकी राइट्स का मसला होता है. राइट दे रहे हो आप एक कम्युनिटी को उस जगह पे, और बाकी नहीं दे रहे, तो वो फिर सेपरेटिस्ट की तरफ एलिमेंट चले जाते हैं.
फुरकान भाई, एक सेकंड. फुरकान भाई, आप ये बताएं कि डू यू एग्री विद द फैक्ट दैट पाकिस्तानी पंजाबीज ने अपने पंजाबियत को इस वजह से दूर किया है बिकॉज दे कंसिडर इट अ हिंदू कल्चर?
No, not at all. वी हमारे आप जाके देख लीजिए, जो गवर्नमेंट्स आपकी बनी है ना, किसी ने ये नहीं कहा कि पेशावर पे गवर्नमेंट बनाई तो सब कॉन्टिनेंट पे गवर्नमेंट बना ली. लाहौर या दिल्ली पे बनाई तो वो कहते हैं हमने सब कॉन्टिनेंट पे किया, क्योंकि हम ही सेंट्रल पॉइंट रहे हैं. ये एक चीज समझ ले. एक सेंट्रल पॉइंट जो रहे पूरी हिस्ट्री में, वो लाहौर और दिल्ली रहे हैं. ठीक है, दैट इज नॉट कराची, दैट इज नॉट बॉम्बे, दैट इज नॉट गोवा, दैट इज नॉट काबुल.
नहीं
इट्स
पर
लाहौर। एक
फुरकान भाई
सेकंड,
अपने घरों में कौन कह रहा था
यार
पंजाबी की
देख
बात
देख
मत
देख तो
करो
ले,
कि
एक
नौकरों
सेकंड,
की जो है
यार सुन तो
आवाज
ले,
है ये
सुन तो ले, ये
बोल
देखे
लेना,
देख,
पहले फुरकान भाई को खत्म
सुन
करने
तो
दो,
ले।
फिर
हाँ,
अली भाई को, एंड देन यू कैन आस्क बोथ ऑफ
देखिए,
देम।
जी 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 जी, नथिंग अगेंस्ट एनीवन, बट जो सेंट्रल पिवट रहे हैं वो पंजाबीज ही रहे हैं हिस्टोरिकली। आप उन्हें जितना मर्जी कह लो, लाहौर, दिल्ली, जिसने पता किया वो सब कॉन्टिनेंट का फातेह करार दिया गया है हमेशा से।
So you think
तो
that
इस
invaders की
रीजन
वजह
में,
से
इस रीजन में जो सेंट्रल पिवट्स रहे हैं हमेशा गवर्नमेंट और पावर के, वो ये दो रहे हैं। आगे लैंग्वेज की बात आ जाती है। लैंग्वेज में जो गोरों ने किया, उन्होंने हर लैंग्वेज को कहा ठीक है कि ये लैंग्वेज खराब है। साउथ ऑफ इंडिया पे चले जाओ, वो अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं, वो हिंदी नहीं बोल सकते। उधर से उनकी पेनिट्रेशन स्टार्ट हुई थी द कॉलोनियल्स, ठीक है। तो कहने का मकसद ये है कि अपनी लैंग्वेजेस को छोड़ना और उनको बुरा समझना वो कॉलोनियल रेमिनेंट है। वो ये नहीं है कि हिंदुओं का वो था या कुछ उनका इन्फ्लुएंस, नहीं। अभी भी आप चले जाओ किसी बोर्डिंग स्कूल इन पाकिस्तान, किसी प्राइवेट स्कूल इन पाकिस्तान, वो कहते हैं पंजाबी नहीं बोलनी है। अभी कौन सा हिंदू के बारे में कह रहे हैं? नहीं, वो
नहीं, तो
गोरों का
फुरकान भाई
रेमिनेंट है।
दैट्स माय पॉइंट कि फिर इंडियन पंजाब में तो वो अपने कल्चर के बहुत क्लोज है। पाकिस्तान में बैसाखी मनाओ या फिर वो क्या कहते हैं उसे, उनके डिफरेंट कल्चरल
पतंग
इवेंट्स
उड़ाने
होते हैं।
वाला, हाँ वो भी
हाँ,
बंद कर दिया।
पाकिस्तान आप
पाकिस्तान
मेरा
कहते हैं ये
नहीं,
हलाल नहीं है।
बचपन था,
मेरा
बचपन
ख्याल
भी
है
हराम।
पाकिस्तान में भी साउथ पंजाब है, मिडिल पंजाब है, नॉर्थ पंजाब है, और उसमें टोटल खुला पंजाबी बोलते हैं, डिफरेंट डायलेक्ट्स है और बड़ा रिच कल्चर है। इट्स नॉट लाइक एक ही पंजाबी बोल रहे हैं वो, ठीक है। वो डिफरेंट किस्म की पंजाबी है, फैसलाबाद की
वहां
डिफरेंट है।
जहाँ एलिट्स नहीं पहुंचे अब तक।
जी,
रिच
ये
कल्चर
फुरकान भाई,
इसलिए क्योंकि वो एलिट्स नहीं पहुंचे वहां पे अब तक। जहाँ एलिटिज्म पहुंच गया वहां तो कोई नहीं है
नहीं
ना।
तो फुरकान भाई
यार मुझे
elitism is a
बात पे
is a remnant of colonial gora, ठीक
एक
है।
सेकंड,
It's a
Pashtuns don't
वन
do the
सेकंड
same thing.
गाइस, मुझे
Pashtun,
कान भाई
every
आप
Pashtun is
एक
proud of
बात,
their language,
यार
like
अदित्य
Punjabis.
वन सेकंड प्लीज, वन सेकंड। मुझे आपकी बात से शदीद इख्तलाफ है डॉक्टर
जी जी
फुरकान भाई,
करें।
फुरकान साहब। और सबसे पहले तो ये है कि सदर्न पंजाब सराइकी है, ठीक है, एंड यू शुड
सराइकी,
नॉट रिफर।
सराइकी is a सराइकी,
नो
सराइकी
नो 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 नो,
it's a सराइकी thing, but आपके डायलेक्ट का डिफरेंस है, मेन लैंग्वेज सेम है, आप ये
नो
समझे।
नो 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 नो
कजन
नो,
लैंग्वेजेस हैं शाहजी, कजन लैंग्वेजेस हैं, सही बात है।
नहीं, क्योंकि अगर आप सराइकी डायस्पोरा को देखते हैं, आप सराइकी लिंग्विस्ट को देखते हैं, लैंग्वेज को देखते हैं, तो आपको पता लगता है कि उसके अंदर सिंधी, पश्तो का बहुत बड़ा मिक्सचर है। सो बेसिकली और साथ पंजाबी का, आई एग्री, क्योंकि इट इज ऑन द क्रॉस रोड।
मेजर पंजाबी एंड सिंधी उनका मिक्सचर है सराइकी, बट इट्स नॉट लाइक के आप पश्तो को भी डाल दें। पश्तो बलोच, बलोच इन्फ्लुएंस,
मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं, मैं आपको
बलोच इन्फ्लुएंस इज देयर, बलोच इन्फ्लुएंस आई एग्री, बलोच इन्फ्लुएंस इज देयर, बट
नहीं, आई वुड लाइक टू पॉइंट समथिंग आउट। इस चीज पे शायद आपने कभी गौर नहीं किया, लेकिन when you notice the Niazis, for example, Imran Khan Niazi being one of the most prominent one, when you look at majority of the rulers in the Saraiki belt, what you'll see is either they're Pakhtun or Baloch origin. They're not regional.
doesn't matter Shaji, that doesn't matter, language doesn't work that way, language
जब सराइकियों से पूछेंगे ना, मैं सॉरी आपको एक चीज बताऊं, जब आप सराइकियों से पूछेंगे ना, आप मुल्तान चले जाएं, आप मुजफ्फरगढ़ चले जाएं, आप मियांवाली चले जाएं, तो आपको पता ये लगेगा कि वो ये बात कहते हैं कि लैंग्वेज वाइज हम सिंधी और उनके सिंधी और पंजाबियों के क्लोज हैं in terms of linguistics, but culturally, because they had the Baloch and more than that, the Pakhtun kind of people come over there. So culturally we are very close to them in terms of how we basically interact or wo jo tribal cheezein hain, but that can be discussed. But more importantly, और अली भाई बड़ी देर से कुछ कहना भी चाह रहे हैं, more importantly मैं ये वाला question अली भाई की तरफ लेके आ रहा हूँ, and I would like you to answer it as well after अली भाई, कि यार आप अगर ये colonial चीज पे डाल देंगे, अगर आप ये सारी बातों पे डाल देंगे, तो व्हाट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इज कि जब पाकिस्तान बना तो पाकिस्तान के अंदर मेजॉरिटी ऑफ पीपल हैपन टू बी पंजाबीज। उनको किसने, उर्दू स्पीकिंग लोगों ने या पख्तूनों ने या बलोचों ने या किसी और ने आके कह दिया था, या गोरे ने आपको जाते हुए ये बात कह दी थी कि आप अपनी जुबान छोड़ दें और उसको बोलना बंद कर दें। सो दैट सर्टेनली कैन नॉट बी द रीजन, बिकॉज you're the largest province in पाकिस्तान। जी अली भाई, और फिर उसके बाद डॉक्टर फुरकान साहब।
जी शुक्रिया। मैं बस आपका शो के टाइम पे मैं जाना भी चाहूँगा, शुक्रिया मुझे चांस देने का। मुझे एक्चुअली नाइस सीइंग यू डॉक्टर साहब। शाह जी, मुझे क्योंकि आपने इतने ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस और इतने ज़्यादा एस्पेक्ट से बम्बार्ड कर दिया मुझे कि आपकी ऑडियंस, मैं समझता हूँ कि मैं उनसे इंसाफ नहीं कर सकूँगा। मुझे 3 बातें, बड़ी 2 बातें थी एक्चुअली, मैं 3 कर लेता हूँ। 3 बातें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट शेयर करनी है। इससे पहले हमारी वो लेडी स्पीकर जो थी माशाल्लाह बड़ी शानदार बात कर रही थी, उनका नाम मिस मदारा है क्या?
नहीं, आद्या। आद्या।
आद्या जी, जी। आप जी, मैं थोड़ी सी बात आपने उस स्पीकर के लिहाज से, क्योंकि 2 या 3 बहुत ज़्यादा जुल्म किए गए हैं आपकी ऑडियंस के साथ, तो मैं आदिया साहिबा, आदिया राइट?
जी जी, आद्या।
जी, आदिया साहिबा से मैं बहुत मतलब हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट करके मैं ये जुर्रत कर रहा हूँ उनसे मुकम्मल तौर पे डिसएग्री करने के लिए, आपकी ऑडियंस के लिए। बहुत बड़ा जुल्म, और बल्कि पंजाबी में कहते हैं उसको, बहुत बड़ी चवल बज गई है यहाँ, जो मैडम ने ये वर्ड यूज़ किए कि पंजाबी जो है लैंग्वेज की बात हो रही है, कि ये संस्कृत, और इस बातों से और उनके जनरल सारे ओवरऑल कॉन्टेक्स्ट से जो उनकी बात से जो स्मेल आ रही है, फ्रेग्रेंस नहीं आ रही, जो स्मेल आ रही है, वो काफ़ी जगह पे साफ-साफ मुझे नज़र आई। मैं आपकी ऑडियंस के लिए वो डिकंस्ट्रक्ट करना चाहता हूँ। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, पंजाबी में मेजर संस्कृत है, तो इन्होंने पर्शियन और अरबी का क्यों नहीं ज़िक्र किया? ठीक है? और बाय फ़ार जिस लैंग्वेज को पंजाबी के अगेंस्ट और पंजाबियों पे अटैक करने के लिए बोला जा रहा है, उर्दू, और जिनको उन्होंने कहा कि ये इंडिया में बनी हुई है लैंग्वेज, तो जो यूपी में लैंग्वेज बनी हुई है, वो अगर पंजाब में यूज़ हो रही है, तो इनको तो सेलिब्रेट करना चाहिए कि आपके जिस टिकट को हिंदू, हमारे हिंदू बहन भाई, पंजाबी हिंदू बहन भाई ख़ास तौर पे, जिन्होंने जो टिकट छोड़ के जो टिकट खरीदी पैट्रियोटिज़्म की और कंट्री वाइज़ और कॉलोनियलिज़्म, नेशनलिज़्म खेलने की एज़ एन इंडिया टिकट, वो टिकट इनको सेलिब्रेट होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि उस टिकट के भी यही राउट्स और कोर हैं कि आपने लैंग्वेज, एथनिक और अपनी लोकल लैंग्वेजेस को छोड़ के कंट्री वाइज गेम खेलनी है। तो अगर ये अपने लिए आप सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, तो इनको भी सेलिब्रेट करने दें। जब वहाँ के सिख पंजाबियों ने और वहाँ के बाय फार जो प्रेजेंट इंडिया है, उन लोगों ने पंजाबी को सेलिब्रेट करने की कोशिश की, तो उनके जो सूबा मुहिम, जो जिनका इन्होंने अर्ज की, इन्होंने फरमाया कि जो सूबा मुहिम या जो भी वो, उसको मुझे वो भूल गया नाम, पंजाबी च मैं कर लेना, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਆਪਰੇਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ उन्होंने they wanted to get a bigger ticket to play with the country ticket, India ticket, because certainly India ticket and Pakistan ticket also is way bigger than the linguistic ticket of Punjab, of Punjabi, or over there also Punjabi. दूसरी बात, जब आपने पैट्रियाटिज्म को प्रेफर कर लिया है और उसको ऊपर ले लिया, तो तब आप रिलीजन का, मुसलमान होने का या हिंदू होने का या पंजाबी होने का या जाट होने का रोना नहीं रो सकते, क्योंकि आपने लाइन ड्रा कर ली है कि हमने ये गेम खेलनी है, हिंदू मुसलमान गेम खेलनी है। और उस चक्कर में अगर हमारे सिख भाई पीछे रह गए हैं, तो ये पीछे रहने का रिसोर्सेज के और उनकी स्ट्रगल से चक्कर तो हो सकता है, रिलेशन हो है, का कोई रिलेशनशिप नहीं है कि आपने उनको रिलीजन के ऊपर में एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना उनकी आइडेंटिटी को। और यही वजह है कि जो हमारे हिंदू बहन भाई हैं, और वो अक्सर हमारे सिख भाइयों को कहते हैं ये हमारे में से ही है, ये हमारे ही हैं, हमारा तो इनमें कुछ नहीं है। हालांकि पाकिस्तान में मुसलमान जितने भी हैं वो कभी भी आज तक किसी एक पाकिस्तानी को आप या किसी एक मुसलमान को ये नहीं कहते पाएंगे आप कि जी सिख तो हमारी तरह ही है, वो हमारे ही मजहब में है, हमारे रिलीजन में है। तो काइंडली ये आइडेंटिटी जो क्राइसिस पैदा हो रहा है, ये आप चीजें उनको सही जगह पे रखें। जो असल कोर है जहाँ से ये सारी प्रॉब्लम्स फूट रही हैं उसको एड्रेस करें। हम यहाँ यहाँ मिसाल के तौर पे वो बिल्कुल आपने एक्चुअली स्टेटमेंट जो हमारे डॉक्टर साहब ने बिल्कुल स्टेटमेंट ठीक की थी कि ये नॉर्थ जो है ये फ्रंट रहा हुआ है पूरे सब कॉन्टिनेंट का, इसीलिए हमारी रेस, हमारी शक्लें, हमारे मतलब बोलने की हमारी ज़बानें, हमारे एथनिक ग्रुप्स, हमारे वो सारे इसीलिए मिक्स हैं कि हम नॉर्थ पे नहीं रोक रहे थे फ्रंट पे इन सबको। और लास्टली आपकी ऑडियंस के लिए शाहजी, जब आपकी ऑडियंस ने जब जब आपने सब कॉन्टिनेंट में प्रोग्राम बना लिया है कि आपने सेलिब्रेट करना है इन सारी चीज़ों पे, तो आप एक मेजर चीज़ भूल रहे हैं कि अगर इंडियन पाकिस्तानी, और इवन मैं यहाँ आपके एक होस्ट के लिए ऐड करने लगा हूँ, इवन अफगान, चले मैं इंडिया पाकिस्तान की बात करूंगा, बंगाल की नहीं फिलहाल बात कर रहा, इंडिया पाकिस्तान और बंगाल भी इसमें शामिल कर लेते हैं। अगर इन्होंने ये सेलिब्रेट करना है कि ये हमारी बहुत बड़ी ताकत थी और हम इस वजह से हमने अपने मुल्क ले लिया है, तो इनको काइंडली चेक करवाएं दोबारा, क्योंकि इसमें इतना बड़ा फैक्टर जो वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 का है, 1 का भी कुछ, चलें आप टर्किश की बात हुई थी आगे, आप वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 की ये आप रहमतें कहें कि आपको इंडिया पाकिस्तान मिलने में आसानी होगी, भी उसको आप नज़रअंदाज नहीं कर सकते। आपकी जो वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर उस टाइम था उसकी वजह से जो आपने आज़ादियाँ ली हैं या उसके ऊपर आपकी ब्लेसिंग हुई है, उसको आप अंडर एस्टिमेट ना करें। अगर आप उस कोर को इक्वेशन से निकाल देंगे तो आप सही जगह पे नहीं पहुंच सकेंगे। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू अली भाई। एक तो मैं इस चीज़ के अंदर ऐड करूँगा कि लैंग्वेज कंप्लीट तो उर्दू की जो हुई वो यूपी के अंदर हुई, नो डाउट अबाउट दैट, लेकिन लिंग्विस्टिक्स के अकॉर्डिंगली उर्दू की जो मदर लैंग्वेज है वो पंजाबी है। तो दैट इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स, ये आप बहुत सारे लिंग्विस्टिक्स से देख सकते हैं। सो मे बी दैट
आपके लिए एक लाइन मैं डाल दूं, मैं जुमला नहीं था अदा करना क्योंकि इतने ज्यादा टॉपिक खुल गए थे। अब आपने चूंकि ये बीच में उसी वापस चले गए हैं, मेरा क्या, मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप वापस अपने वो छोटे अपने पुराने 1-2 मैटर पे आ जाते हैं बजाय 5-6 मैटर के। लेकिन आप ये सेंटेंस ले जाएं कि पहले तो मैं ये कहने लगा था कि हमारे ही बच्चे बुच्चे हैं, लेकिन वो एक गलत टर्म थी, मैं उन्हें लाइटर नोट। लेकिन ये आप जिन चीज़ों की बात कर रहे हैं, सिंधी की या अपने उर्दू की, यूपी की, इधर उधर की, ये हमारी कज़न बड़ा छोटे बहन भाई हैं पंजाबी के, और इन्हीं की हमारी वो इन्फ्लुएंस है वहाँ। ऐसी उसमें कोई मतलब बुरी बात नहीं है, प्यार से हम ये बात कह रहे हैं। और दूसरा एक और आपकी ऑडियंस के लिए, खास तौर पे अदिया के लिए, मैं उनको अब सुन के जाऊंगा, पूरी उनकी बात सुन के जाऊंगा। आप देखें कि अगर आप रिलीजन की, अदितिया के लिए भी बात है। अदितिया, आप ये मैटर कर लें कि जब रिलीजन की पाकिस्तान में या पूरे सब कॉन्टिनेंट में जितने भी मुसलमान हैं उनकी बात होगी, तो आप ये भी हौसला करें कि आप ये देखें कि पंजाबी कितने बड़े हौसले के मालिक हैं, कितने इंक्लूसिव हैं। बंगाली में मैं शामिल करूंगा, कितने इंक्लूसिव हैं। अगर जो कंपटीशन आप उर्दू का बना रहे हैं तो वो लैंग्वेज भी इंपोर्ट हुई है यूपी से। और अगर आप रिलीजन जिसके ऊपर इतनी देर से हमारी बहस हो रही है उसके मेजर थंब भी इवन अफगानिस्तान तक, इवन पख्तूनिस्तान तक, यहाँ पाकिस्तान के पख्तून तक भी, वो सारी भी रिलीजन की जो फैक्टर्स हैं वो भी यूपी से आए हुए हैं। आप जितने भी शिया ले लें, आप जितने भी ये देवबंद ले लें, बरेलवी ले लें, इन सब के शेड वहाँ से आए हुए हैं। तो पंजाबी बेसिकली ओरिजिनली हिस्टोरिकली बहुत इंक्लूसिव है और बहुत वेलकम करता है और सबको साथ लेके चलने की बात करता है। ये शुरू से ही हमारा कल्चर रहा है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
तो अली भाई आप कह रहे हैं कि ये सारे मसले यूपी से शुरू हुए हैं?
जी जी, बिल्कुल ऐसी बात है, 100%। और आप इस तरह की मेरी अगर महम जैसे होस्ट मेरी सारी कन्वर्सेशन को, अगर महम मेरी सारी कन्वर्सेशन को इस तरह के मतलब कंक्लूड कर देंगे तो फिर मेरा आना वापस मुश्किल हो जाएगा आपकी ऑडियंस के लिए, मैं बैन हो जाऊंगा महम।
वो तो आप हर शो के ऊपर कहते हैं, ये आपकी मोहब्बत है कि आप फिर भी आ जाते हैं। लेकिन दूसरी चीज ये, आई थिंक इट्स ओनली फेयर वी लेट आद्या गेट द फर्स्ट रिस्पांस बिकॉज़ यू एड्रेस्ड हर। Adya, go ahead.
Hanji, thank you. Ali, I don't know what triggered you with the historical reference. I'm sorry you didn't like it, but that's a fact. If you will talk to an Indian, probably that person will go into the historical references of the subject. The matter of the fact is कि आप अभी भी कुछ अलग नहीं कर रहे हैं जो पार्टीशन के टाइम किया गया था. You're still trying to create a divide. My point was very simple. My point is that when you say that somebody speaks the language, तो वो वहाँ का बन गया, ठीक है, वो दिल से बन गया, that's another thing. Language is free for everybody to learn if they like it, if they speak. Punjabi is a beautiful language, like any other regional language, ठीक है ना? But पंजाबी के साथ एक कल्चर एसोसिएटेड है. अगर आप उसको डिनाई करना चाहते हैं, that's your choice, but that's a fact. जितने भी आप फेस्टिवल्स देखते हो इंडियन पंजाब की तरफ जो हम सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, which today for some reason are known as the Sikh festivals, they are celebrated पूरा इंडिया वाइड. आप नेपाल में जाके देख लो, वहां तक सेलिब्रेशन होती है इनकी, हार्वेस्टिंग की सेलिब्रेशन होती है. दे नॉट रिलीजियस फेस्टिवल्स, दे कल्चरल फेस्टिवल्स. कहीं पे उसको बैसाखी बोल देते हैं, कहीं पे उसको गुड़ी पर्व बोल देते हैं, कहीं पे उसको कुछ बोल देते हैं. सो आई थिंक आपका थोड़ा डिस्कनेक्शन हो गया है हेरिटेज के साथ, एंड दैट्स वेयर these comments are coming from. As far as the Sikhs are concerned, we don't consider them बेचारे. मुझे नहीं लगता कि अगर आप वो पाकिस्तान के प्रिज्म से बोल रहे हैं, बिकॉज भारत में सिख इज द ओनली कम्युनिटी जिन्होंने बोला कि पंजाबी हमारी लैंग्वेज है, कि उसके ऊपर हमें एक सेपरेट स्टेट चाहिए, और उनके ऊपर पूरी चेंजेस किए गए थे पूरे इंडिया में. पहली बार भारत में लैंग्वेज के ऊपर स्टेट्स डिवाइड किए गए थे. जैसे जो मराठी बोलते हैं उनको महाराष्ट्र दे दिया, जो पंजाबी बोलते हैं उनको पंजाब दे दिया, जो उर्दू बोलते हैं या हिंदी बोलते हैं उनको यूपी दे दिया, एंड सो ऑन. सो दीज थिंग्स वर डन, एंड आई एम स्पीकिंग ऑन अ वेरी कल्चरल perspective. When you talk about language in the Indian subcontinent, it is not a language which is derived from some words and कोई उधर से ले आया. No. Punjab, when you talk about language in the Indian subcontinent, it has a historical context. हाँ, वो evolve कर सकती है, but उसका background काफी depth में जाता है. When you say Punjabi as in Persian, मैंने तो बोला ही था कि जब गुरमुखी जब आई थी तो उसमें सारा ये मिक्स किया गया था. गुरमुखी में पर्शियन है, आई थिंक मे बी, या मैं कट गई होंगी, आपने वो अच्छे से सुना नहीं होगा. इट इज देयर. द लैंग्वेज इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द लिपि. जो हम आज पंजाबी में लिखते हैं भारत में, इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द वे यू राइट इन पाकिस्तान, बट वी स्पीक, वर्ड्स हमारे सिमिलर होते हैं. सो आई डोंट नो व्हाट रियली ऑफेंडेड यू, बट माय पॉइंट वाज वेरी इंक्लूसिव. अगर आप इसका जवाब देना चाहें.
नहीं तो your point is like that language changed in the past 70 years. Language doesn't change. Language
I never
doesn't
said
change
the
in
language
70
changed.
years.
I
Like
never.
no, you
आप
said
शाहमुखी में लिखते हैं ना, अली जी?
wait a second. Wait a second. Like you said, in Pakistan, that language is written in that way.
No,
In
no.
70 years.
She's absolutely correct in that. And how she's correct in that is कि पाकिस्तान में शाहमुखी की स्क्रिप्ट यूज होती है, और इंडिया के अंदर या सिख जो है वो गुरुमुखी की.
पंजाब में इवन हिंदूस हम लोग गुरुमुखी में लिखते हैं. आप
हाँ जी, अली भाई आप बोले, आपको एड्रेस किया था.
जी जी जी, शुक्रिया. जी अदिया, वैसे तो ये रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है और मुझे शायद टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से भी, कनेक्शन की वजह से भी हो सकता है गलती लगी हो, लेकिन जहाँ तक मैंने सुना आपने सिर्फ संस्कृत कहा था, इसलिए मैंने उसको डिकंस्ट्रक्ट किया, क्योंकि मुझे वहाँ पर्शियन, अरबिक और ये दो मेजर लैंग्वेजेस की आवाज़ नहीं आई. हालांकि बीइंग ए सन ऑफ सॉइल,
हिस्टोरिकल
जी
बैकग्राउंड, सॉरी, आई एम
जी
सॉरी,
जी, नहीं
मैं करेक्ट कर
जी
दूं आपको. मैं उसका हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड दे रही थी कि जो पंजाबी है इट कम्स फ्रॉम प्राकृत, और जो प्राकृत है वो इवॉल्व हुई है वैदिक संस्कृत से. उसको जब वैदिक संस्कृत को इजी किया गया था तो वो प्राकृत बनी थी, और प्राकृत से पंजाबी बनी है.
जी, मैं अर्ज कर रहा हूँ कि आपने जब संस्कृत का ही सिर्फ नाम लिया तो मुझे उसमें इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसऑनेस्टी नजर आई, इसलिए मैंने हाईलाइट किया. हालांकि आपने मुझे करेक्ट कर दिया है कि आपने संस्कृत कनेक्शन की शायद वीकनेस थी, आपने दूसरे भी मेंशन करने की कोशिश की. दूसरी बात, कोई भी लैंग्वेज है, हम आप शायद थोड़ा लेट आई शो में, इससे पहले लिंग्विस्टिक के ऊपर हमारी मदर टंग और मदर के ऊपर बात हो चुकी है क्योंकि सारी लैंग्वेजेस, जो लैंग्वेजेस इवॉल्व नहीं होती, इवन उर्दू, हिंदी, पंजाबी, अरबी, अंग्रेजी, जर्मन, जो लैंग्वेज इवॉल्व होती वो डाई होती हैं, तो पंजाबी भी इवॉल्व होती है। और दूसरा बात ये, अगर आप कैच 22 वाली एग्जांपल दे के हमारी ऑडियंस, मुझे आपसे पर्सनल कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मैं आपके उस बिल्कुल आपने बात इंटरेस्टिंग की, और शाह जी से और आप दोनों से मुझे अब इख्तलाफ ये आ रहा है कि देखें, आप कैच 22 की शाह जी बात कर रहे हैं आपने, और जो सारी दुनिया को पता है, बड़े आराम से सब आप चैनलों पे सुनते हैं, थोड़ा सा आप उस पर जोर भी लगा लें, आप ये बड़ी खुशी से बात कह रहे हैं कि जी गुरमुखी जो है वो वाला उसकी स्क्रिप्ट जो है वो गुरमुखी पंजाबी जो सिख हमारे बहन भाई बोलते हैं, उसका जो स्क्रिप्ट है वो गुरमुखी है, और गुरमुखी जो है वो लेटेस्ट स्क्रिप्ट है, और शाहमुखी पुराना स्क्रिप्ट है। राइट शाह जी?
100%।
ठीक
और
है, अच्छा मेरी
गुरमुखी
बात,
गुरमुखी बोली नहीं जाती, गुरमुखी लिखी जाती है, और
जी
वो
जी
पंजाब में चाहे हिंदू है, पंजाबी है,
जी
मुसलमान है, हर कोई गुरमुखी लिखता है इंडियन पंजाब
जी
में।
जी जी मुझे अंदाजा जी, मैं आपसे यर्ज करने लगा हूँ कि जो हम पंजाब में ये कह सकते हैं और ये इनकम्प्लीट तस्वीर दिखा सकते हैं जी, गुरमुखी से पुरानी तो शाहमुखी है, और आप शाहमुखी के हिसाब से लिखें। अब अगला बंदा और अदिया, आपको जरूर चाहिए था कि आप कहते कि जी शाहमुखी क्यों, शाहमुखी तो पूरा स्क्रिप्ट ही वो पर्शियन और अरब टाइप का है, तो क्या हमारे पास डायलैक्ट नहीं था? फिर आप रूट्स की तरफ दोबारा जाएंगे और आपकी हमारी ऑडियंस को रियल कॉज समझ में आएगा। जो रियल कॉज ये है कि ये जो हमारी ये गुरमुखी है, और आदित्य ने हमें कितने शोज में करेक्ट भी किया है कि वो स्क्रिप्ट जो है वो इम्प्रेस्ड है, इंस्पायर्ड है, वो जो देवनागरी है, या जो लोकल यहाँ के जो मतलब लेफ्ट राइट से लेफ्ट जो लिखते हैं, लेफ्ट से राइट जो लिखते हैं, उसके कॉन्सेप्ट वो इंस्पायर हुई हुई है। तो बात ही मेरा कहने का ये, मुझे डी कंस्ट्रक्ट इसलिए करना पड़ा है कि हमारी यहाँ नॉर्थ में बैठ के हम इन चीजों पे जोर रखते हैं, हमें पता है, क्योंकि असली सन ऑफ सॉइल तो हम ही है ना नॉर्थ के, और तो कोई भी नहीं है। अगर बाहर से कोई मिसाल को दिल्ली के आगे से भी आ जाए तो उस हमने कोई घाट को समझ, हमें तो उनको समझना भी नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि असल जब हम डिफेंड कर रहे हैं, कुर्बानी हमारी सिविलाइजेशन से दे दी है, मोहनजोदड़ो में हमने काम कर लिया, हड़प्पा में काम कर लिया, टैक्सेला हमारे पास है, मेहरगढ़ तक हमारे पास है, आपके लैंड ऑफ पांडव्स आपके नहीं, हमारे ही सन ऑफ लैंड ऑफ पांडव्स हमारे पास है। तो इस लैंड की लैंग्वेजेस, इस लैंड के कल्चर को जितना हम समझते हैं उतना को किसी को समझ नहीं आ सकता। इसलिए हमारी प्रॉब्लम यह है कि हमें, अगर किसी ने एक वर्ड अरब से आके या पर्शिया से आके हमारी लैंग्वेज में डाला है, हमें उसका भी पता है, और उसने क्यों डाला है, और कौन संस्कृत का ड्रम बजा रहा है, और हमारे रिलीजन को अंडर एस्टिमेट कर रहा है, और हमारी बेसिक चॉइस को जो हमारे उसको टैकल करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, डिप्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, हमें उसका भी पता है वो किस स्टेशन से बोल रहा है, कौन कॉलोनियलिज्म की वजह से और कौन वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 की वजह से सेलिब्रेशन कर रहा है और मजे लूट रहा है, और कौन डिप्रेस हो गया, हमें उसका भी पता है, कौन किस कार्ड को यूज कर रहा है। ये सारे कलर्स हैं इस कन्वर्सेशन के। हमारी बेसिक प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ये जितने कलर्स हैं, और इसमें 4-5 कलर और भी ऐड कर लें जो टाइम की वजह से मैं नहीं ऐड कर पा रहा, पंजाबी एथनिक सिर्फ एक छोटा वर्ड है, पंजाबी इन सब कलर से बने हुए हैं। तो हम इन सब कलर्स का जिक्र इसलिए कर रहे हैं कि आपको कोर पता हो दिया, क्योंकि ये सारी जो मैंने कोशिश की, मेहनत की, ये इंक्लूजन करने के लिए की है, एक्सक्लूजन करने के लिए नहीं है, जिसका आपने जिक्र किया। आप एक्सक्लूजन कर रही हैं जब आप ये कह रही हैं कि ये सिर्फ संस्कृत थी, और आपने मुझे करेक्ट कर दिया। मैं आई थिंक वी आर ऑन सेम पेज, अगर आपने पहले रिकॉर्डिंग में संस्कृत सिर्फ वर्ड नहीं कहा तो। थैंक यू।
So I just want to say something here. It's actually other way around. I'm sensing it, Aliji. Sanskrit kind of triggered you, but again, the fact is fact. Even the Devanagari has a background of Sanskrit. ये पता नहीं आदित्य ने कभी आपको बताया है कि नहीं बताया है. When it comes to Gurmukhi, as I said, it's a script. It's how you write. अगर मुझे ज़्यादा background में जाना पड़ेगा तो फिर मैं लिंडा लिपि भी लेकर आऊँगी, because that is the original one, right? So आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, मेरे को सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है. You want to say something?
I'm listening to you. मैं बर्दाश्त ही
okay,
कर रहा हूँ बस आपकी सुनने को, मैं आपको टाइम दे रहा हूँ आपको।
okay,
अरे
maybe
गुस्से में
that's
तो
it.
ना है ना, यू हैव अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव, आप एक
नहीं लेकिन आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन, आई हैव अ
नहीं
क्वेश्चन।
देखें, अगर आप फैक्ट्स को
जैन लैंग्वेज
आप अगर फैक्ट्स
अली
को
भाई,
स्टोरी और फैक्ट्स को मिक्स कर रहे हैं तो इसमें मेरी प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है, आपकी
नहीं
ऑडियंस ही
नहीं
कंफ्यूज होगी शाह जी। बात
अली
यहाँ
भाई
पर
एक बार
सवाल चना है, जवाब गंदम मैडम दे रही हैं, तो ऐसे तो नहीं हो सकता ना।
नहीं
No,
अच्छा
no, no.
एक
I
चीज
can
मान
reply.
एक चीज मान भी लें एक चीज मान भी लें कि व्हाट यू आर सेइंग कि ये लैंग्वेजेस इधर से डिराइव हुई। जिन लैंग्वेजेस की आप बात कर रही है वो कहाँ से डिराइव हुई थी, उनका ओरिजिन क्या था, आप जरा वो भी बता दें। लाइक एक सेकेंड, लेट मी कंप्लीट माय लाइक व्हाट आई हैव टू से। वो ओरिजिनल लैंग्वेजेस हैं, उनमें कहीं इंस्पिरेशन कहीं लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर की कहीं लैंग्वेजेस की नहीं आई। हिस्टोरिकली अगर आप उन लैंग्वेजेस को भी उठा लेंगी ना, उसमें भी कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी रीजन की लैंग्वेजेस आई होंगी। दैट्स हाउ लैंग्वेजेस वर्क। व्हाट्स द पॉइंट कि अगर एक लैंग्वेज इसके उठा के कर दी, वहां से उठा के कर,
मैं
मतलब
एक
क्या
और
है? व्हाट्स द पॉइंट?
अच्छा
It's
मैं
not
बताती
about
हूँ,
एक
मैं
second,
बताती हूँ।
let me complete my point.
हाँ यही कह
जी
रहे
जी
हैं।
जी जी let me complete my point. अगर एक लैंग्वेज किसी भी लैंग्वेज से इंस्पायर हो रही है, उससे कोई मकसद नहीं है कि वो कोई सुपीरियर चीज है या इंफीरियर चीज है, वो कोई भी अखज नहीं करता। ठीक है, अब जब आपकी गवर्नमेंट बननी है लाहौर में या दिल्ली में, वो लैंग्वेज पंजाबी बिल्कुल डिस्टॉर्ट होगी। जब भी कोई आएगा वो कहां कहेगा गवर्नमेंट बनानी है, हमने बनानी है जी दिल्ली में। जो दिल्ली के इर्द गिर्द के लोग थे, उनकी लैंग्वेज डिस्टॉर्ट होगी, उनमें इंस्पिरेशंस आएंगी, जो भी उधर इन्वेडर्स आ रहे हैं। इन्वेडर उठ के कोई साउथ पे तो गया नहीं, जो मेरा पहला पॉइंट था। इन्वेडर उठ के कहां आया? दिल्ली आया, लाहौर आया, उधर गवर्नमेंट बनाई, उधर उनकी लैंग्वेजेस में इंक्लूजन्स हुई ऑफ अदर लैंग्वेजेस, जो कि अभी भी हो रही हैं। अभी दिल्ली में बैठ के कहते हैं हिंदी राइज करेंगे, इस्लामाबाद में बैठ के कहते हैं उर्दू राइज करेंगे। वो कहां राइज होती है? वो पंजाब में राइज होती है, और कोई प्रोविंस में नहीं राइज होगी, क्योंकि वो उधर के ही स्टेट्स हैं, कैपिटल्स हैं, और वो उधर ही प्रोविंस में राइज करेंगे। राइज का मतलब है इम्प्लीमेंट। मैंने कहा दूसरी लैंग्वेज में बता दूं, शायद एक लैंग्वेज में समझ ना आए, बट
यार मतलब एक
जिसका
बैकग्राउंड ने आपको इतना ट्रिगर कर
सुपीरियोरिटी
दिया
से
है, मतलब लेकिन एक
कोई ताल्लुक नहीं
डॉक्टर
है
अहमद, डॉक्टर
जी।
अहमद, I heard you, I got your point. I never said Sanskrit is superior. I gave you guys a historical context, right? As far as the Persian language is concerned,
Where did
I believe
Sanskrit
one second.
was derived from?
Okay, I got
He
your
did
point.
not
One
interrupt
second.
you. Let her have her say as well. It's a
That
As
was my
far as
initial
Persian is
question.
concerned,
on
That
कर
was my
दीजिए।
initial question. Where was Sanskrit derived
so
from? वो
the
कहाँ से
Vedic
derive हुई?
Sanskrit. Okay, I'll reply you. Have some patience.
Because she's a
जो
linguistic
संस्कृत
expert, तो मैं उनसे सुनना चाहता हूँ ना
जो
कि वो कहाँ से derive हुई?
वैदिक संस्कृत से जो पहले की लैंग्वेज है, that is the one that you found from the Mohenjo-daro, the Harappan civilization, the Indus Valley civilization. That language has not been decoded
From
yet.
Pakistan. From Pakistan.
That language has not been decoded yet.
From
आपको ये पता
Pakistan.
होना चाहिए
एक
था
सेकंड, मैं यहाँ पे I want to ask Adya one question.
हाँ जी
Adya, do you believe that Rishi Panini was the person who conceived Sanskrit, or basically it is said that he was one of the first known proponents of Sanskrit? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what the historical context says. Unless there's something else, इसमें belief system नहीं है. You know, whatever the history writes is in front of everybody. Unless there is some other historical context or references, you can present us. There's no problem.
So I
Persian-
completely agree that Rishi Panini did it. Now Rishi Panini basically comes from the Pakhtun area.
तो फिर क्या है उससे?
तो पॉइंट यहाँ पे ये आ रहा है कि
पॉइंट था क्या आपका?
पॉइंट यहाँ पे ये आ रहा है कि जिस तरह पंजाबी उर्दू के बारे में अक्सर कहते हैं, उसी तरीके से ये एक्सेप्ट हमें करना पड़ेगा कि ऋषि पनीनी अगेन कम्स फ्रॉम अ पश्तो बैकग्राउंड। तो पॉइंट इसके अंदर ये है कि लैंग्वेजेस जो हैं वो ट्रैवल करके इनसाइड इंडिया गई हैं इस एरिया से, and that is not against what you're saying, Adya, what the point is कि whether they're derived and completely developed in the mainland India, लेकिन उनकी origin for some reason has always been in the Pakhtun and the Punjab areas of
So
Punjab area.
that's what I said. You know, you guys see it as a territory as you see now. We don't see it like that. As if you want to talk to me, I don't see when I'm talking about historical contexts. I don't see the geographical situation the way we are in now. My take is very different. I don't have any problem with Persian. In fact, I think because they pretty much come from the same haplogroup, it's also my language. So मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा इसमें trigger point क्या है. I don't have any issue with Urdu. I don't have any issue with Persian. One second, Shaji. I don't have any issue with any language that comes from the Indian subcontinent. Okay, you can say the South Asian subcontinent. I don't have any issue with the Cantonese and Mandarin because I don't see the historical context the way it is now. So
I just want
जो अली जी हैं उनका वो थोड़ा different angle से बोल रहे हैं, and I know from which angle he is talking. I am not going to take that angle. I have my own perspective. I live in Indian Punjab. I'm a Hindu Punjabi. I'm native of Punjab. My ancestors have been living in Punjab for ages. I know my background. I know what I'm talking about. मैं 47 से नहीं देखती हूँ पंजाब को. I don't see Punjab from 1947.
लेकिन अब इन लोगों के साथ मैं एक क्वेश्चन, अली भाई चले गए हैं, मे बी ही इज गोइंग टू कम बैक. असल में ये लॉक हो चुके हैं, ये फंस गए हैं, देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. डॉक्टर फुरकान आप फंस चुके हैं. प्रॉब्लम मैं बताता हूं. देखें, इसके अंदर एक बहुत बड़ा इशू आ जाता है. आपने भी, अली भाई ने भी लैंड वाइज ये सारी सिविलाइजेशन क्लेम की बड़ी प्राउडली. ऐसा ही है?
प्राउडली नहीं, दैट्स अ फैक्ट कि जहां भी किसी ने एस्टैब्लिश करनी चाहिए इन दिस सबकॉन्टिनेंट गवर्नमेंट, तो वो पंजाब पे ही करके उन्होंने की. हाँ जी, करे आगे.
यहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ा मसला आ गया ना. अगर आप
क्या मसला,
उसमें वो मसला ये आ गया है कि इफ यू आर ओनिंग द एंटायर Indian civilization as Pakistani Punjabis, so why don't you know anything about your past in that way? आप आज पाकिस्तानी पंजाब में किसी भी जगह के ऊपर जाएं, उनसे पूछें हड़प्पा क्या था, उनको पता ही कोई नहीं. आप जाके पूछें उनसे कि आपके लोकल लोग कौन थे, उन्हें पता ही कोई नहीं. आप उनसे जाके ये सवाल करें कि बेसिकली आप जो हैं हिस्टोरिकली कुरुक्षेत्र के बारे में क्या जानते हैं. आप ये जो आपका टैक्शिला वाला एरिया है जहाँ पे अपेरेंटली द पांडवास केम एंड दे स्टडीड एंड एवरीथिंग, जहाँ पे ऑल द वे अप टिल पख्तून एरियाज गंधारा को और वो सारी सिविलाइजेशन को क्लेम करते हैं. ठीक है, उसके बारे में एक नॉट आई वुड से कि ये खाली पाकिस्तानी पंजाबियों के साथ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. हिस्टोरिकली इवन इंडियन पंजाबीज, majority of them apart from the Hindu ones because they have a religious attachment to it, they know nothing about it. आप across the border जाएं, वो भी महाराजा रंजीत सिंह से अलावा कोई बात ही नहीं करते. वो समझते हैं कि उसी टाइम पे पंजाब आया और उसी टाइम पे वो फैल गया. Now hold on, so I'm coming to the main question. Now we've heard both from you and Ali Bhai that you are the cradle of the Indian civilization, and in Pakistan you happen to be in control, and in India the Sikh Punjabis or the majority of Punjabis, I'm taking out Hindu Punjabis from that because they have a religious attachment to it, so they know a bit in regards to that. तो उस सारे कॉन्टेक्स्ट के अंदर where does that leave you? Why and how can you be a claimant when you're basically discarding it yourself? जब आप पहले कह रहे थे कि यहाँ पे सारे पेंडू हैं, जब पंजाबी बोलते हैं या पेंडू कंसिडर करते हैं, वो कौन लोग थे जो आपको बता रहे थे कि आप लोग पेंडू हैं अगर आप अपनी लैंग्वेज में बात करेंगे? कौन लोग थे? Were they outside?
अच्छा, एक तो घुमा फिर आके 4-6 क्वेश्चन पूछे. मैं एनीथिंग अबाउट के ये रीजन हमारा है, मैंने ये कहा था कि जिसने भी चाहा है कि दे वांट टू कॉन्कर subcontinent. So दो शहर मेन थे and they both lied in Punjab. So Punjab has been the central point जहां से हर चीज गवर्न होती रही है इस रीजन की. उस रीजन में जहां इन्वेडर्स आए उनका कल्चर आया. ठीक है. मुझे अभी तक नहीं पता कि व्हाट्स द पॉइंट ऑफ डिस्कशन हियर. द मेन पॉइंट जिसपे ये कंटेंशन हो रही है, आई केम इन बिटवीन. तो जहां मैं सुन रहा था लैंग्वेजेस को, जहां मैं सुन रहा था बाकी चीजों को, तो पंजाब की लैंग्वेज जो डिसरप्ट हुई है वो इसलिए हुई कि इन्वेडर्स आके इधर सेटल हुए, और जो ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज किसी भी इन्वेडर की, किसी भी गवर्नमेंट की रही है, वो ही आगे इधर की रीजन की लैंग्वेज को तबाह करती रही है. ठीक है. जहां तक आप बात कर रहे हैं कि इनको पेंडू कहते हैं, बाकी कहते हैं, दैट इज समथिंग विच इज क्वाइट कॉलोनियल. ठीक है. और वो आपको इंडिया की साइड पे भी नजर आएगा, वो आपको पाकिस्तान की साइड पे भी नजर आएगा, क्योंकि ब्रिटिशर्स का ज्यादा होल्ड इन पंजाब ही रहा है, और वो इधर ही इन्होंने अपनी ब्यूरोक्रेसी और बाकी सेटल की थी. जब ये इधर शाह, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही.
इवन महाराजा रंजीत सिंह के टाइम के ऊपर आपकी ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज जो थी वो संस्कृत थी इस रीजन की, सॉरी फारसी थी.
फारसी इसलिए थी क्योंकि ही वो सक्सेसर किसके थे रंजीत सिंह, वो सक्सीड किसे कर रहे थे क्या?
तो मतलब ये
नहीं
हुआ
नहीं
कि
नहीं नहीं नहीं, सक्सीड किसे कर रहे थे वो रंजीत सिंह? वो मुगल को सक्सीड कर रहे थे. अब फॉर इंस्टेंस आई एक हाइपोथेटिकली हाइपोथेटिकली इंग्लैंड में इंडियन जाके इन्वेड करके गवर्नमेंट बनाते हैं, वो ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज क्या रखेंगे? वो हिंदी रखेंगे या वो इंग्लिश रखेंगे? वो इंग्लिश रखेंगे क्योंकि मेजोरिटी को समझ वो आती है. ठीक है. रंजीत सिंह ने जो लैंग्वेज रखी थी क्योंकि ही वाज सक्सीडिंग मुगल्स.
चलें,
ठीक है.
ठीक हो गया.
हाँ, मेजोरिटी को वो समझ आती थी जी.
That's fine. I would like to bring in Noor back in the conversation and then go to Madara, who's been waiting. And I want to ask Noor, when Punjabis are basically stating that majority of invaders basically came, or the civilizations and empires evolved from Punjab, wouldn't you disagree from the Bengal perspective
Yeah.
that a lot of people came from what is known as Bangladesh and Bengal as well, right? And they were just as dominant. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Noor.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where he got that knowledge from, that all the invaders came from Punjab. I think that's another thing that some people do, that they want to overestimate their importance in history. Because historically, if you actually read history, when the British invaders came, they came from Gujarat and Surat, right? And then when when the Mughal kings allowed, the British to come and stay, the first battle that they had to fight was the Battle of Palasi, and that was against the Bengalis in Bengal, obviously. And after that war, that's when the whole of the subcontinent became under the British control. So my question is, how is it that Punjabis are considered to be some sort of fighters and defenders of society and everything, and how important they are, but then really, if you look into the history of it, you guys were interfighting with each other about many different stuff. Like, for example, you have the Sikhs, you have the Hindus, you have the Muslims. You're fighting over which land is yours, which land is not yours, over, I don't know, your cultures, I guess. But on the other hand, it was, I don't want to say we're so great or anything, because we're just the same people, but when the invaders came, as in foreigners, British Empire, in this instance, I'm just giving you an example, they didn't go to the Punjab, they didn't go to Lahore, they didn't go to any place in Punjab at all, because it wasn't considered something to be taken, or like no, none of the Mughal kings were actually living there or ruled over that land. So yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that that topic, that Punjab is where they were fighting everyone, or they were the heart of. So I think Dr. F, forgot his name, Furkan. I think he said that Punjab is the heart of the subcontinent, and that's obviously not true. It is a very important part, and I think everyone, if you're Punjabi, you will consider Punjab to be the most important. If you're Pashtun, you probably consider your land to be the most important. If you're Tamil, then you consider your land, whatever. But if you look at historically speaking, if you look at where the center of actually the empire was, even if you look at Ashoka, if you look at the Mughals, if you look at the Marathas, they all lead to one land, which is in the eastern side of the Bengal. If you look at Calcutta, Murshidabad, these are the lands where the Mughals and the Muslims were mainly fighting each other for dominance of the whole subcontinent. But that's my 2 cents. Thank you. Any
Okay,
Yeah,
questions?
I want to add something here.
I
एक
would
सेकंड
respond.
फुरकान भाई, मैं भी
Sure.
इसी के साथ ऐड कर रही हूँ. Also, I
जी.
wanted to add this fact that you said that all this is colonial fever, but it's the Punjabi culture is really strong in the Indian on the Indian side, right? But
Yeah.
the Pakistani side is completely opposite. So it can't be colonial, because then both sides should have just said that nah, we don't want to follow Punjabi culture.
Yeah, but the thing is, Punjabis in Pakistan are more Islam, like Islam is considered dominant in it. If you're a Muslim, Islam is your dominant faith. We consider our religion to be supreme, right? We don't consider our culture to be that supreme. So if our religion says something that we can't do, then we won't do it. So on the other hand, the other side, they have a different kind of concept of how they consider their culture to be greater than whatever. So yeah, it is colonialism, because the Muslims didn't consider the British when they came over and they were ruling. We kind of held on to our religion. We didn't say like, okay, we are Punjabis, we are Pashtuns, we are Tamils, we are blah blah blah. We said when we were fighting because we are Muslims, not because we were a certain ethnicity. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
if I may respond, I think I never said one culture is like superior or inferior to another. A That's a very illogical conception of what I said. I only said, like, if you would say what's the center of power in the USA, you would say New York or Washington. In the UK, London. In Germany, Berlin. What's the center of power in South Asia? It would be Delhi, historically, or Lahore.
That's not true
It's not.
though.
It's not like anywhere in Bengal.
It's also Calcutta. It's also Calcutta.
Lahore just to make place for Ranjit Singh.
Wait a second. I never said because of that. Where is can I complete? Can I complete? Can I complete? I never interjected when like anyone was speaking. So can I complete? I never said one culture is superior to another. But when we say where the governments were formed, कहाँ इन्होंने आके अपनी empires basically establish की, that was in Punjab. That was not in Bengal or the south of India. किसी ने गोवा में फ्लैग लहरा के ये नहीं कहा मैंने इंडिया कैप्चर कर लिया, ठीक है? किसी ने टिम्बकटू में फ्लैग लहरा के ये नहीं कहा मैंने यूके फतह कर लिया. तो हिस्टोरिकली एक सेकंड कंप्लीट करते देना यार. शाह इंटरजेक्ट ना करें. कैन आई कंप्लीट? मैंने पूछ के ही बोल रहा हूं ना. अगर बोलने देना है. हाँ, किसी ने टिम्बकटू में फ्लैग लहरा के ये कहा मैंने इंग्लैंड फतह कर लिया है? नहीं. हिस्टोरिकल पर्सपेक्टिव में यू कांट डिनाई कि इन दो शहरों की अहमियत सब कॉन्टिनेंट में रही है और रहेगी. आप माइनस कर सकते हैं कर लो. इससे किसी यार कैन आई कंप्लीट यार? व्हाट द हेल. अरे भाई
कंप्लीट शाह बोले आप.
अगर देखो इतने ट्रिगर हो रहे हो तो रिलैक्स कर जाओ थोड़े, या फिर मुझे बोलने ना दो, मुझे बता दो, ठीक है? कहने का मकसद ये है कि आप अगर ये कह रहे हो कि एक कल्चर दूसरे से सुपीरियर, मैंने कहा है? मैंने बिल्कुल नहीं कहा. मैंने ये कहा है कि हिस्टोरिकली इन दो शहरों की.
You did say it literally came from your mouth.
What did I say? Okay, no,
you said Lahore was This you said
Yeah.
Lahore is the center of the Muslim. I'm sorry, India
And
subcontinent.
what was historically wrong or factually wrong
I
in that
I will bring
statement?
Of course, the,
I will tell
शाह
you.
शाह या उसे
एक
आंसर
सेकंड
कर
ना
दिए या
भैया,
तुम
एक
कर दो
सेकंड।
यार।
Yep.
एक तो मैं उससे बात कर रहा हूँ या आपसे करूँ, एक एक बात कर लो ना।
कंप्लीट करने दो ना यार। शाह प्लीज कैन यू रिलैक्स?
एक
बोले आप
सेकंड।
फरहान भाई।
I want to bring something to your
नहीं,
attention.
am I talking to नूर या
We're all talking.
जी
Ji, I want to bring something to your
ठीक है।
attention. When the British announced that they have basically occupied India and it is part of their empire, is when they took over Calcutta and designated it as their capital. और historically speaking भी अगर आप पास में जाएंगे, I completely agree with you कि एक बहुत बड़े एस्पेक्ट के अंदर and many empires declared Delhi and Punjab, you're right, but Bengal has been just as important when it came to that. And many people in Punjab overlook that, but Bengalis don't. That is why one of the reasons why Bangladeshis are just as proud as Punjabis and other ethnicities in the region, which is known as Pakistan today, is because they have had just as many invasions. The empires have erupted from them as well, in the same amount, maybe more from Delhi and the Punjab region. एंड आप टीपू सुल्तान वाला सारा रीजन देख लें, वो पीरियड देख लें, अगेन टीपू सुल्तान वाज नॉट फ्रॉम दैट एरिया टू बिगिन विद। तो आगे आपको इस पे प्रॉब्लम है या आपको लग रहा है कि मैं ट्रिगर्ड हो रहा हूँ? आई एम नॉट बीइंग ट्रिगर्ड, आई एम जस्ट लाइक ब्रिंगिंग दैट टू द कॉन्वर्सेशन ताकि आप दोनों बात कर सकें आगे इस पे।
मैं यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट सिर्फ ऐड करना चाहती हूँ। प्लीज प्लीज फुरकान भाई प्लीज, बहुत टाइम बाद बोल रही हूँ। I just wanted to add that Bengal is the center also because mainly Bengali people have always been, I really respect those people. I really respect Bengali in a way that if you read history, even though the British came through Siraj al-Dawla because he was cheated by Mir Jafar, it was also the Bengali who did the first mutiny in British Empire. And you know who executed them, Furkan bhai? The Punjabi
Yes,
Sikhs.
yes,
The
I know,
Punjabi
I
Sikhs
know,
executed
I
them.
know, I know, I know. And देखो देखो एक चीज क्लियर मैं फिर कर दूं, इट्स नॉट अबाउट हु इज सुपीरियर, कौन इंफीरियर है। मैं कहता हूं पाकिस्तान बंगालियों ने बनाया। 1906 जो फाउंडेशन हुई थी मुस्लिम लीग की, दैट वाज इन बंगाल। पढ़े लिखे लोग कौन थे? दे केम फ्रॉम बंगाल। मैं बात कुछ और कर रहा हूं, बात ये कर रहा हूं कि लाइक लाहौर और दिल्ली सेंटर ऑफ पावर रहे हैं जब लैंग्वेजेस की बात आ रही थी, जब बाकी बातें आ रही थी। ये नहीं कह रहा कि लाइक साउथ के लोग लाइक इंफीरियर हैं या बंगाल के लोग इंफीरियर हैं। मैं फिर कह रहा हूं लाइक पाकिस्तान और ये जो डिवीजन में जो हम 4 फाउंडर्स मानते हैं, 70% ऑफ देम केम फ्रॉम बंगाल। There's no two sense about it. Like they were very well educated, well cultured, बहुत जबरदस्त लोग। बात ये नहीं हो रही कि किसका कल्चर ऊपर नीचे, बट सेंटर ऑफ पावर सब कॉन्टिनेंट में किसी ने भी इस्टेब्लिश करना है, उसने दिल्ली को फतह करके ही करेगा या लाहौर को। ठीक है,
लाहौर को सिर्फ रंजीत सिंह ने किया था फुरकान भाई।
हाँ तो देखो वो एक लोकेशन जो है वो ज्योग्राफिकल इंपॉर्टेंस भी होती है। ठीक है, अब लाहौर या पंजाब एक सेंट्रल लोकेशन पे आते थे, दिल्ली, उसमें वो पर्सपेक्टिव आता है। उसमें ये नहीं है कि हमारी इसमें ये नहीं है कि पंजाबी बड़े स्पेशल थे तो वो इन्वेडर इधर आ रहे हैं। नो कल्चरल सुपीरियोरिटी की बात या इंफीरियोरिटी की बात की है, बट वो लोकेशन इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट थी। जो लैंग्वेजेस की बात थी ना, उसके कल्चर को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इन्वेडर्स ज्यादा इधर आए, तो इनका कल्चर और बाकी एमलगमेशन हुआ और मिक्स हुआ। just because of the invasions over the period of time.
But I think you need to add Calcutta and Bengal to that entire equation. क्योंकि उनका भी you will see that. Or I'm going to quickly go to Noor, and then let's hear from Madara. He's been waiting for a long time. Go on, Noor. Take your time.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
quick
just
to you, but you don't have to be quick, and neither does Furqan.
yeah, I'll be quick though. Just I was gonna say like yes, okay, Lahore may have had a lot of significance in history, but you need to understand like what is an invader to you? Like who are these invaders that you mention of? Is it like outsiders out, for example, like Afghanistan? Like is this like your what's your criteria of who is an
Yes,
invader?
anyone out of like Punjab invading, Afghans were invaders, Britishers were invaders. Who else came here? I
No,
guess
but
Mongols
as a
came here.
Muslim, you can't say
They all
Afghans were
were.
invaders.
Uh,
Are you
they
like
were
no?
invaders.
We
No,
can't
no,
say
no, no,
that
no,
they were not
no.
invade. They were not
I'm
invaders.
100%. I would say 100% they were invaders.
How
Okay,
are they
it's not
invaders?
about it. How they are not. You tell me.
No, but I'm asking you, how are they
No, no, no,
invaders?
no. How they are not? Because anyone coming to Punjab, not from Punjab, they're invaders. You're just saying they're not invaders just because they are saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Yeah.
On that ground, you're saying they're not invaders. If I come to your house and I say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, I invade your house.
Okay.
Would I be an
So,
invader or I
like,
would not
let's
be
use
an
logic
invader?
here, right? Let's use logic here.
That's
How did
logical.
No, that's
That's
not
the same
logical
logic
because
you're
we
implying.
became Muslim because of these so-called invaders. That's
No, no.
historical fact. We became
Any
Muslim
Muslim
from
coming to
these
your house and
who you
saying,
consider invaders.
claiming that that's my house, saying La ilaha illallah
No,
Muhammadur
no,
Rasulullah,
we're not Israelis here. We're not
you'll be all
Israelis.
right with that.
No, they are settlers, meaning they came and they didn't come here and invaded anything. They came here just to spread their religion, which they did.
No, they didn't. They didn't. They did. They came to capture land. They came here for
What
the
land did they
wealth.
capture? No, what land
No,
did they
no.
capture?
They captured. Oh, so they didn't capture any land.
You tell me. I want to know, like, what land did they capture?
No, 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 like
India is
you,
still 80% Hindu, right? Which land did they capture?
uh, then why did the Afghans came, or did they not came to this land?
So, do you think the Mughal Empire are invaders?
Definitely yes, because they were not from the land.
Okay, so how did you're like you're
Okay,
Pakistani,
okay,
right?
okay. I'll ask you a counter question. Do you think Britishers were invaders?
Yes, because they're literally not even from the
Why?
same continent. They're not from the same
Okay. Oh,
continent.
okay. They are not from subcontinent. Hold on to that thought. Were Afghans from the subcontinent? Were the Akbars and the Baburs
कॉन्फिडेंस से
from the
निकाल दिया भाई.
subcontinent? नहीं नहीं नहीं, एक सेकंड ना, एक सेकंड, एक सेकंड. Were they from the main land subcontinent?
Yeah, so they were spreading Islam. What's wrong with that?
Okay. If the Britishers were saying or preaching Islam, would that have been fine?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
So, okay, your perspective of invasion is quite dependent on what religion the invaders follow.
Well, I'm asking you again, what is your consideration of an outsider or invader? What is your criteria? Because you keep saying invaders came and invaders
I
came.
just asked you a very simple question. If I come and claim
Mhm.
the house you're living in is mine just because I say La ilaha illallah, would you be fine with that?
No, but these people are
फरहान भाई,
No, no.
naturalized.
Okay,
They
can
came.
you answer this question in a simple way? Like, if I come to your house and claim
can I
your
Furkan
house
भाई,
is
listen
mine
to me.
just because I say the
No, no,
kalma,
Furkan bhai, actually
shahada.
nobody actually said that. The difference between British Empire and the rest of those empires of the Mughal and Tughlaq and Khilji is
Anyone coming
just,
from the
just
outside were
let me explain.
invaders.
Okay, fine.
Period.
Just let me explain. The difference between the British Empire and the rest of the empires were that those empires stayed, they lived here, they died here,
Yeah.
their graves are here. The British Empire just made you a colony and sucked everything out of
Yeah,
you
exactly. That's my
and
point.
took them to another land.
No, no, no. That's not your point, Noor. That's not your point. Hold your thought. What Medusa is saying, that makes sense because she's saying extraction of the resources. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very
Yes.
different point.
No,
Then
that's not a different
the,
point.
though
No, it's not. No, it's not. When I told you they
Furkan
came
bhai,
here,
every ruler is extracting the resources. That's not how
that I
colonization
agree.
works.
That
the
I
difference,
agree.
Colonization
That
is
I
the
agree.
basically a
difference
satellite
between the
state.
Mughal Empire, for example, the difference
Colony
between the
has to
Mughal
be
Empire
satellite
and the
states
other.
which is used.
Look, the
But
difference
Like,
Yeah,
between
you
can
know,
I say
Aditya,
something
something
Aditya,
comes
here,
out of it.
Furkan and Noor? Can I say something
yeah,
here?
yeah.
In the history of the Indian subcontinent, there is something called Kushans. Okay, and we have also experienced some other communities entering this subcontinent. When they entered the subcontinent, they adopted the culture of this subcontinent. So when it So when it comes to the invasion, the definition of invasion, it is not about, if they are spreading the religion or if they're keeping the resources or if they're taking the resources. It is about accepting the culture of the land. The question is, did the Turks and Mughals accepted the culture of the land? They did not. Did the
they
British
Yes,
did.
accept
yes,
it?
they
Yes,
No,
did.
they
they did
did.
And
not.
they
Yes, they did.
did.
Yes, they did.
Adya,
Of course, they
How
did.
how
let
did they
me, let
accept
me
the culture?
explain. Adya,
Hanji.
this Aurangzeb who's all so controversial. There are five in if his five generations. He had Rajput mothers. They dressed like
No,
Indians. They lived like Indians. They were
that doesn't
almost by the
matter.
time of Aurangzeb, they were almost
No,
Indians.
so what, Medusa?
Here I
So
agree with
the
Adya. Like they never accepted it.
Yes,
Never.
they did. Yeah,
Akbar,
they did.
Akbar,
Yes,
exactly,
they
that's the
Akbar
did.
point.
tried.
Even
Akbar,
Indian Islam is very different than the Arab Islam. Like, what are you
yes.
talking about?
Exactly.
Can I say
When it
something? Look, even these guys who accept, who like all the Mughal rulers, they gave preference to Turkish and other people outside of India. They did not give Indian Muslims preference in jobs and stuff, especially when it comes to courts. They always saw themselves as outsiders, and they treated important jobs should go to the outside people, and they always asked for
Madar, I don't think, like, we're discussing Islam or Mughals
yeah,
like
yeah,
we did
look,
that yesterday. It's
I'm,
about the
I'm talking
rumors
about
about
look I'm talking
Punjab.
about Mughals. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
the rumors
Oh,
Mughals.
can
about
I
Yeah,
make my
Punjab.
point? I'm
let
gonna
him
make a.
complete, let him complete and then answer him, and then I will go to Noor. She has,
So,
and then Aditya.
look, it's okay to treat them as outsiders. They are us foreigners, like Britishers. Even though they lived here, even though they copulated with local people, they are still outsiders because they wanted themselves to be outsiders.
So, what
Very
are your
weak
views
logic.
about the
Wait.
Aryans
I really
who
don't
invaded these
understand.
lands?
They ate Indian
so
food. They married Indian women.
uh,
They wore clothes like Indian people. They
Exactly.
spoke the
Yeah.
They
Persian
never
language.
went for
What else
Hajj.
do they have to
They
do to
barely
be
sent
You
any
Indian?
know,
money
in
for
our
the
land, we consider the
revival of the.
Marathas. One second, Aditya. We consider the Marathas to be outsiders, invaders. We consider the Assamese to be invaders. We consider the Biharis to be invaders. However, they are part of the Indian country, the country called India. They are a province or like a state inside India because they're considered part of the Indian culture. However, if you look at the history, Marathas were the invaders who came to Bengal and they literally did rampages, pillaging, doing the R word. They're doing so many evil things. Do people who consider this land as their own go and do these evil things? Answer is no. So my question again was to Furkan was, what is considered an outsider? Because people in your own land can be an outsider as well.
Okay, I would be very clear. And I asked you twice, like, would you consider someone an outsider just because they say the kalama or the shahada? And you didn't answer that question. Okay. Uh, if someone comes to Punjab, not from Punjab, they're invaders. That's the very basic definition of invasion. What's an invasion? Someone coming and trying to capture a land not from the land. That's the 101 definition of invasion.
So Furqan Bhai, that leads me to another question. Would you consider anyone who's associated to them today in terms of religion, in terms of ethnic background, or anything, would you consider them outsiders today from Pakistan or India or Bangladesh?
I didn't get your question. What was the question?
So the question is, a lot of people who call themselves Muslims today, who happen to be part of the subcontinent as a whole, have lineages from these people. Not only that, they subscribe to that same religion and they were outsiders at some stage. Do you consider those people to be outsiders today?
No.
No. So would you understand then in that case that our history, those of us who basically refer to ourselves as Muslims of various backgrounds, whether our backgrounds are indigenous to India in terms of being converted, or we're related to the people who came in, our history is closely attached to those people. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Listen, we might be linked in a way with culture. That's fine. Okay. The point here is anyone coming in your land with force, that's invasion. You would
Okay.
consider
So
that
then my
invasion.
next question
You,
would
you,
be,
you can't say they were here just because you are Muslims now. You can say कि they were not invaders. ठीक है?
okay. My question is, would you consider Aurangzeb to be an invader then?
No, because औरंगजेब का बाप भी इधर था, दादा भी इधर था, परदादा भी इधर था.
फिर झगड़ा
ठीक है?
किस बात का? हम भी इतनी
Yeah.
देर से Thank you.
Y'all gonna.
अब यहाँ
That's
पे
my whole
आगे
point.
आपको
That's
बताओएगा.
literally my whole point. Like, who are we
नहीं,
considering an invader?
फुरकान भाई, ये हमारी गलती तो नहीं है कि हर जो भी बंदा आया आप लोगों ने बंगड़ा करके उनको अंदर इनवाइट कर दिया.
देखिए, इसमें बहुत सिंपल चीज है. Can you guys hear me?
Now we can, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very simple point. Okay, when the Mughals came, were they invited? Were they given a letter of invitation to come and like form a government here or form whatever the sort of structure उस टाइम पे जो था नहीं वो
Yes.
आए
Yeah,
उन्होंने
they did actually.
एक सेकंड क्या ना यार Noor, you can go ahead and speak and then I can speak. And Shah, you can also speak and then I can speak.
Yeah,
बोल
I'm
ले.
gonna be very quick and then I'll shut up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then you
what
need
you're saying
then
is
you
actually
guys
very
need to
dangerous.
नहीं then you guys need to go on mute and then I can speak. ठीक है? Speak.
Okay, Tika. My point is, what you're saying is actually a very dangerous thing to the Muslims of India, okay? Because what you're essentially what you're saying, that Muslims in India are following a religion of the invader, right? This is literally what you're saying. However, the truth is, when the Mughals came, let's say Babur, Akbar, and any of these people, they came here and they adopted the culture of this land. If you go and ask a Muslim in, let's say, Azerbaijan, or if you ask someone in Afghanistan or someone in Turkey, Saudi Arabia, do they like what do you consider as Akbar? They're gonna say he's an Indian emperor. They'll say he was an Indian person who was a Muslim, an Indian king. They won't say he was from where was he from? Uzbekistan or wherever, or Afghanistan, because he came and adopted the culture, and it's not his fault that he was a stronger person, that he could control a country or a land. And whereas for example, for somebody to rule over you, you have to allow that person to do it. That this tells me that they were given the permission, because if we have enemies, if you have an enemy, for example, that enemy will fight you. But we don't see this. Anyone who was fighting the Mughals, if they were getting decimated, for example, if they lost wars, whose blame is that? Why are you blaming Muslims for something that somebody else couldn't do? That's my question. But yeah, I'll be quiet now.
Yeah, and I would like to add something to what
Me
she's
too.
just
I want
said.
to add something to after Shahji.
Okay, you go ahead first, and then I'll do it.
I just wanted to add one thing. Furqan bhai, do you think Ranjit Singh was also an invader in Sindh and Peshawar?
Yes, agreed.
So you guys
Yes.
have also invaded other people.
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not I agree. Ranjit Singh also invaded Pashtuns and Sindh. Yeah.
So I would like to add something to what has been said, and you're kind of stuck in another situation because of this. Initially, you said that Punjabis in Pakistan did not basically let go of their culture because they wanted to differentiate from the Hindus. But it seems like that is somewhat true.
How?
Do you get the point?
How? Oh, no. How?
How?
Yeah, explain.
For example, your
all
local
of the
Hindu.
cultural all of the local cultural events, they are being called haram by the very masjids in Punjab, right? Not by us. We don't care about basant
No,
and all that.
that's not the point. But that's not.
Ranjit Singh's statue was destroyed by the Punjabis in Punjab.
And
That's not the point.
I would like to add, when Maham and Noor basically asked you and referred to you as you guys, you clearly disassociated yourself from Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Why?
No, I think because you know my background, Cha. It's not you guys. It's about talking about a certain thing. ठीक है, आप किसी के बारे में बात कर रहे हो. It's not the language. I don't want to be like a language police करने वाला बंदा, but it's not about you or me. ठीक है.
यार आप इस बात why are we in denial?
एक सेकंड. पहले मैंने पूछा था कि आप कंप्लीट कर लो, आप कर लो, नूर कर ले.
अच्छा, आप कर लें, आप कर, यार इस तरह कंप्लीट
अगर नहीं, बात इस तरह नहीं होती ना फिर.
तो चलें आप करके अब मुझे बता देंगे. सुने, आप पूरी बात करके हमें बता दें कि
नहीं, आप कर लो, आप कर लो. यू कंप्लीट, और फिर मुझे बता दो अगर बोल सकता हूँ या नहीं बोल सकता.
नहीं,
ठीक है, गो अहेड एंड कंप्लीट एंड देन आप करो, और उसके बाद मुझे बता दो, फिर बता दो कब बोलना.
जी, मैं आपको इसका रिवर्स देता हूँ. Nobody is going to interrupt you till you tell us you're done, और फिर हम आगे बात करेंगे. बोलें, कोई भी इंटरप्ट ना करे फुरकान भाई को, चाहे वो अब आधा घंटा बोलते हैं. बोलें.
अरे भाई, मैं आधा घंटा बोला ही नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि 2-4 बार जब मैं बोला हूँ 6 बार इंटरप्ट किया है. ठीक है. बी, मैं ये बात सिंपल कह रहा हूँ कि कोई चीज मैंने ये नहीं कही कि कोई सोसाइटी या कम्युनिटी इधर किसी से सुपीरियर है या इंफीरियर है. ठीक है, ये परसेप्शन बिल्कुल गलत है. दूसरा, अगर कोई बाहर से इस जगह पे आ रहा है जो कि हमारी सब कॉन्टिनेंट है, वो इन्वेडर है. अब आप उसे मुसलमान कह दो, वो मुसलमान आ रहा है और वो इन्वेडर नहीं है. बट रंजीत सिंह आ रहा है, वो इन्वेडर आप मान रहे हो. मैं तो रंजीत सिंह को मान रहा हूं कि इन्वेडर है. इधर बैठे लोग नहीं मान रहे कि जो मुसलमान आ रहे हैं वो इन्वेडर नहीं थे. मैं अगर पूछूं कि मैं आपके घर पे आके कलमा पढ़ के कहूंगी ये घर मेरा है, मुझे इन्वेडर कहोगे, उसको आप नहीं आंसर कर सक रहे। रंजीत सिंह को यस यू वुड से इन्वेडर, मैं तो मान रहा हूं इन्वेडर था, जहां की माहम ने बात की है, क्योंकि ही वॉजंट फ्रॉम देयर, वो वॉर उधर लेके जा रहा है, उधर कब्जा कर रहा है, उधर कत्ल कर रहा है खुलेआम। अब आप कह रहे हो कि अगर अफगान इधर आए, उन्होंने पीसफुली आए, उन्होंने इधर लोग मारे, उन्होंने इस्टेब्लिश की इधर गवर्नमेंट, बाकी फिर कत्लेआम किया, वो चीजें आप नहीं इंक्लूड कर रहे इस डिस्कशन में। बट आप ये कह रहे हो कि ये इन्वेडर हैं जो कलमा नहीं हो, जो कलमा गो नहीं है वो इन्वेडर है, जो कलमा
Yes,
पढ़े
I
वो
stand by
इन्वेडर नहीं है।
this. Sorry, are you speaking?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's very obvious. You don't have to say
Yeah, but
that.
you are the same
Yeah, yeah,
people who if you're, for example, if your stance is that if somebody is, why you should be Indian, then you should be from India, not from Pakistan, because
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
premise
yeah.
of Pakistan and Bangladesh was
And
that
you're
if
living
you're
in
minor.
yeah, you're living in London or like Surrey or
Kanwai,
somewhere else,
Ranjit
and
Singh,
you're saying like the Pakistanis are saying these things. It's historical perspective, Noor. It's
Yeah,
historical
that's
Kanwai,
okay.
perspective
I'm not saying.
about
I never
certain things.
called Ranjit Singh invader. I didn't call Ranjit Singh an invader. I asked you if you think he was an invader.
I told you he was an invader. The two provinces जहां आपने बात की, आपने मेरे से किन provinces की बात की थी माहम, रणजीत
सिंध
सिंह
और
की?
पेशावर, सिंध
तो
और
उधर का
पेशावर,
मैंने,
मतलब पेशावर
हाँ तो
बताया था।
उधर जी जी वो उधर का था, रंजीत सिंह
ये तो
उधर का
वो
था।
ये कान भाई, प्रोविंसेस तो
नहीं था
1947
नहीं
में
था
बने हैं ना।
नहीं था
नहीं, प्रोविंसेस
नहीं
तो
था यार
1947 में
यार
बने हैं।
यार
कौन
रंजीत
कह
सिंह
सकता
कहाँ
है
का
कि
था?
पेशावर मजदूरों का
रंजीत सिंह
इलाका था कि किसी और का था?
आप यार माहम, रंजीत सिंह था कहाँ का? गुजरावाला का था ना?
हाँ,
कहाँ का था? गुजरावाला का था ना? ठीक है, उधर से निकल के वो गया, कहाँ गया? अगर वो जा रहा है पश्तून या सिंध के इलाके में, तो मैं वो कहूंगा कि वो उधर का है? नहीं। इन्वेडर की डेफिनेशन क्या है 101 यार? आप लोग पता नहीं किस चीज में बहस कर रहे हो। सिंपल चीज है, नहीं है
फुरकान
वहां के, इन्वेड कर रहे हैं।
फुरकान
इन्वेड करने का क्या मकसद? एक सेकंड शाह जी, इन्वेड करने का कहने का मकसद है कि आप कहीं घुस रहे हो,
हाँ जी
वो
ठीक
आपको
है। अब
समझदारी
एक
नहीं।
सेकंड, मैं जरा इस कॉन्वर्सेशन को थोड़ा इन्वेड करना चाहूंगा, आप बड़ी
जी
देर हो
करे
गई।
करे करे
तो
सारी
तो तो अब मेरा आपसे फुरकान भाई फिर क्वेश्चन ये है कि अहमद शाह अब्दाली कहाँ पे फिट इन होगा? क्या उस जो मुल्तान में पैदा हुआ, क्या उसने पंजाब को इन्वेड किया या अफगानिस्तान को इन्वेड किया? अगर ये आपका क्राइटेरिया, ये बताएं मुझे।
शाह लाइक कैन आई
अब
बी,
आप पूछ रहे हैं।
नहीं 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 नहीं, आवाज आ रही है? आवाज आ रही है? कैन यू हियर
आ
मी?
रही है, आ
जी
रही
जी।
है।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, लाइक कैन आई बी ऑनेस्ट, मुझे अब्दाली का लाइक अमित शाह अब्दाली का ये पता है कि ही हेल फ्रॉम अखवान रीजन, उसके अलावा मुझे इसका ज्यादा नहीं पता।
So he was born in Multan, and from Multan he went as a slave to Afghanistan, where him and his brother happened to be. वहाँ पे उनको नादिर शाह मिला, who basically liked him in that way, and in terms of his skills and stuff. Uh, and later on, he superseded him. He came back to what is known as India uh, today, and what is known as Pakistan through Afghanistan. और उसने बाकी का भी सारा region all the way up till provinces of what are now Iran. He took over a lot of land. So he was born, and his family was originally living in Multan for a long period of time. तो इस तरह के बंदे को फिर आप कहाँ पे डालेंगे उस चीज में?
अच्छा मेरा फिर देखें आफ्टर ऑल दिस डिस्कशन मेरा आप शाह नूर एंड महम देखिए एक थोड़ी सी हार्श डिस्कशन होगी आई हैव नथिंग अगेंस्ट एनीवन शाह नोज भी महम नोज भी
You don't need.
नूर का भी ठीक है अच्छा क्वेश्चन मेरा ये होगा देन डिस्क्राइब इन्वेडर्स इन्वेडर्स होते क्या है मुझे ये डिस्क्राइब कर दें कि इन्वेडर आपकी डेफिनेशन में किन को इन्वेडर कहोगे कि जो हिस्टोरिकली इन्वेडर की टर्म है वो किसके लिए यूज करनी चाहिए आप मुझे ये समझा दें ठीक है शाह मेड्यूसा और नूर चले आप मुझे ये समझा दें इन्वेडर किसे कहना चाहिए
Wait, I want to make a point before. So, for example, I live in the UK. My parents are from Bangladesh, right? So, I'm British because I was born in this country. By your logic that you were saying, an invader is somebody he goes and takes over. I'm not British, am I? Because I'm an illegal. Basically an immigrant. Or am I British? What am I? What would you think I am?
Like that's something very basic. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even respond to that. I would only ask one question. What's an invader and what's an
Yeah,
invasion?
I'm
But,
asking you. So, if this
wait
is
a
a very
second.
simple topic and simple answer, you need to understand that when you're calling somebody invader, for example, if you're
I'm not
Pakistani,
calling anyone invader. I
you
wouldn't
are
call anyone
negating.
invader.
Yeah, you're calling
You
people who are
tell
not
me
invaders
what's an
as
invader.
invaders.
Okay,
You're
by your
calling
definition,
you are calling
by
people
your
who are born and
definition,
raised in the
by
Indian
your
subcontinent as
definition,
invaders.
by your definition, what's an invader? Okay,
I
that's the
literally told you the
question.
British Empire are invaders. Why? Because they came from a
Why?
different continent. They came from Europe
Mm-hmm.
and they came into the
Mm-hmm.
Indian subcontinent to leech off the Indian people.
By that logic, a lot of other people also came from other continents or other countries and invaded India.
No
Okay.
countries existed. No country existed back then.
Okay,
Yeah,
Countries,
okay,
exactly.
nations,
okay.
nations.
Okay, Maham, I agree. But she said there were continents back then. Then give me a solid definition of what an invader is. And then we can discuss what an invasion is. Give me a definition then.
Okay, but Furkan, I told you earlier, an invader can be anybody, even in people in your own community. For example, the Marathis are Indians, the
Very,
Bengalis.
very arbitrary definition.
What
Give
I'm
me a
trying to
specific
explain is,
Yeah,
definition.
मैं इसका कर देता हूँ आपको very simply. If forcefully you enter a space or a region where the
An
people
outsider.
don't want you and you're doing that by force.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So forcefully was the word you use. I agree with that.
I just want to get you over the hiccup, right? Which
Yeah.
I had. Hold on.
That.
And so the hiccup over there is maybe you might be able to refer to the first person or the second person who came in these dynasties as invaders. No problem. No issues. But you have to realize that these are people who stayed there. They married people locally. They had offspring and they have a certain religion today. Now, if you're going to refer to them as invaders, that is hence why the two nation theory came into existence. What you have to understand is that when these people came in, a lot of people converted. It's debatable how they converted, how they reverted, but they did revert, they did convert, and as a resultant, you had a group of people who were part of those ruling classes at that time in period, and later on their offsprings remained in within the societies which are known as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan today, right? And Hence, you cannot basically claim that agli jo dynasties thi, the forthcoming offspring, can be referred to as invaders. And that is hence why you were reluctant to basically claim that Maharaja Ranjit Singh was your leader or a leader from your backyard, when he was clearly the only difference between him and another Punjabi is religion.
Okay, sure. I'll be very clear. One, uh, you're a Punjabi? मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ.
Nope, I'm not.
Okay, so how can you say I'm a Punjabi then?
You're not a Punjabi either. You're half Punjabi.
Not really. Yeah.
But
But yeah. But okay, let's get past that. My point is the definition. Wait a second, Shah. Wait a second. My point is the definition of invasion or invader. Can Noor, Maham, and you
I
sort of
already gave you the definition. There's one written. Definition below.
Yeah.
We agree with the definition written below in the screen. I tried to.
It is simple, unwelcome guest who use force, violence, loots resources, and takes them somewhere else are invaders.
Furqan bhai, but how can you prove that the Muslim of subcontinent considered the Mughals invaders?
Where no, it's not about like someone considers them or not. मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ डेफिनेशन क्या है. आप ये नीचे वाली डेफिनेशन पे एग्री कर रहे हो, ठीक है. इसमें दे टेक समवेयर लाइक एल्स आर इन्वेडर्स. अगर वो ये समवेयर एल्स नहीं कर रहे और वो आपके घर पे आके बैठ रहे हैं, आप फिर भी उन्हें इन्वेडर समझोगे या नहीं समझोगे?
इतनी दफा
मुसलमान भाई है तो नहीं समझेंगे.
चले खत्म हो गई. फिर आपसे फिर बहस की बात ही नहीं है. फिर टीटीपी नहीं, फिर बहस उधर आई थी. टीटीपी पे क्यों रोते हो? टीटीपी पे क्यों रोते हो? रोते हैं, सारे रोते हैं, खून के आंसू रोते हैं कि वो आपके सरदार मार देते, सर कलम कर. हाँ, उधर सारे रोते हैं. हाँ, तो उधर जब आके वो मारते हैं तो हर कोई रोता है.
कोई इन्वेडर नहीं बोला था. रोकना एक, अगर कोई तुम्हारे इलाके में क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटी कर रहा है, रोकना इज अनदर थिंग. वी डोंट कॉल देम इन्वेडर्स.
मैं यही कह रहा हूँ कि लाइक रिसोर्स वो जो समवेयर एल्स आर इन्वेडर्स. आप किसी घर पे जाके बैठे हो और कहोगे मैं इधर से कोई चीज लेके नहीं जा रहा.
Let me move on from this point. I want to move on from this point. I want to elaborate on something which is related to this. So would you say then that our history as Muslims of the subcontinent is not attached to these invaders?
Didn't Aurangzeb gave us that Fatwa-e-Alamgiri?
So where does it put us then?
It's
no. Where does it put us, Furqan bhai, in terms of where does that lead us? If, for instance, Indians are saying, or some people are basically saying that after 70 odd years, after having so many Rajput ancestors, he's still an outsider. Abdali, after being born within Multan, going out, coming back, is an invader. Then you're an invader too. I'm an invader as well. Noor is an invader. Maham is an invader. This culture is an invading culture.
Exactly. This is a dangerous remark to make. Is like it puts a lot of people's life at stake. Firstly, and also we are not invaders.
And that's how we imply कि जब हम कहते हैं कि Britishers कॉलोनियल्स थे कि वो सारे जो अभी के ब्रिटिशर्स थे वो कॉलोनियल्स थे। यार क्या बच्चों वाली बातें कर रहे हो इधर बैठ के?
इधर जा
क्या
चुके हैं।
बच्चों वाली
Look,
बातें, क्या
look.
बच्चों
नहीं
वाली
नहीं,
बातें? बट
एक
हिस्ट्री
यहाँ एक प्रॉब्लम है।
नहीं है।
यहाँ पे हम पता है कितने लोगों की बात कर रहे हैं।
नहीं है। अभी
होल्ड ऑन,
हम बैठ के ये तो नहीं कह रहे कि ये ब्रिटिश सारे
आप
कॉलोनियल थे।
मुझे ये बताएं कि यहाँ पे आपने पाकिस्तान में आपको कितने ब्रिटिश नजर आए हैं या इंडिया में कितने नजर आए हैं?
we're
Look,
talking about 600 million people, man. If you add Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India, you're talking about 600 million people who associate to those empires, who associate to that history of invasion. Let's call it invasion. No worries.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
look, it
तो अब
doesn't even
हमारा क्या
matter.
करेंगे? Include
Yes,
आप खुद होते
Shaji,
हैं जो
Raji,
रंजीत
can I say
I think it's
something?
time to finish, so let Madara speak. Go on, Madara.
Look, you like the basis of partition in India was based on religion. Okay, so now you say that India cannot even have like a very like even India, you know, like we treat Muslims equally in some sense. They are practicing their language, their religion in whatever they want, but there has to be some level of acceptance and so it's not even like it's Hindu Rashtra. It's just that you have to accept. You cannot practice your extreme of your religion. That's it.
Nobody
So
should be
when
practicing extreme of their religion anywhere, Madara.
yeah, but I agree. Even Pakistan does not
Even
accept.
in Pakistan, nobody
No,
should
even in
follow the
Pakistan,
extreme version
I know. Even
of
in Pakistan,
Islam.
you don't accept. Cutting hands off for thievery or something like this.
Really?
Which
That
is
doesn't happen in Pakistan. I'm sorry, Madara. That doesn't happen in
no,
Pakistan.
that's what I'm saying. It does not happen in Pakistan. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
So,
extremism of any religion, including Islam,
so
anywhere
look,
should be discouraged.
you have to agree that what is acceptable. It is it is decided by the people. It is decided by the majority democracy. So when we say okay, when it's acceptable not to kill cows, it should be acceptable.
Yeah, I agree.
When we say okay, from now on, no religion should have a big speaker to have azan or something like this. It should be acceptable.
No, but that is you're oppressing another religion's right to call people for prayer. But that means that you're going to stop doing holy and
Yeah.
all the other functions with big.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you say like it's only one religion which is getting disadvantaged by this, I agree with you.
No,
Whatever
Madara,
you
I don't think 5 minutes of a loudspeaker to call Muslims to a prayer should bother anyone. Just like having that whole Ganpati and everything and dancing and playing
no no
music
no
should
no
be
no
followed.
no. I am asking for look. When I say I ask for a loudspeaker ban, I ask for every ban,
No,
like
that's not
ban
right.
across the.
That's not. No. I don't agree with that. Everybody should celebrate their culture or their religion,
No.
however.
Look, that's your view. That's your view. The thing is, the view you have is very valid as an individual view. But when I go to vote, when I go to vote my people, they say I can choose.
You can choose, but you shouldn't
You
choose
know, you know
something
what, you know what I
that will
mean.
destroy.
Look. There is no that.
You can choose. You can choose, but you shouldn't choose something that would destroy a moment of happiness for different
Okay,
kind of people. If like
okay.
somebody
Okay,
celebrating
that's
Ganpati
yeah,
and that's their moment of
yeah. Okay,
happiness,
okay, okay.
they should be. Oh, you should be okay with that. You should celebrate that. If I was in India and there were all these holies and all these stuff, I would
Yeah.
participate because it's fun.
Can I just say something about this topic?
Go on.
Look, in in India, like I come from Tamil Nadu, like we have a very strong regional identity, which is
Mhm.
based on Tamil language,
Mm.
Tamil ethnicity.
Mm.
When it comes to Pakistan, Jinnah, who comes from Gujarat, who was a very recent, I don't know, uh, whatever he was, and Allama Iqbal, who was a, I don't know, probably a Kashmiri. They have no real relationship with Pakistan. Pakistan was a country made by people, by bureaucrats like Jinnah, for some like very. This only is the only reason why Pakistan was created was because of uh, Muslims of India was threatened. So you have to keep continuing this conversation with your people that you destroyed Punjabi, Baluchi, Pashtunistan, Pashtu, and everything. All the regional identities are destroyed for one very one identity that is like so we are all Muslims. That's all we are. So like you kind of you made Urdu, which is nothing. Like what is Urdu relevance in Pakistan? Nothing. Urdu was a a language created in India by probably some part by Mughals and some part by British. It has no relevance in your country.
Madara, here's the thing. If someone, first of all, the most of the cultures are not diluted. Sindhi celebrate their culture, Baloch do theirs, Pashtun. I don't see anyone speaking in Urdu in
They
Pakistan.
they they are
But
they
the
are
thing is,
they,
but the thing is, I'm going to make this point, but then we have to go to Ganga if he wants to say something, and then we're going to close because it's been like 2.5 hours, and we have to go do Sehri. But the thing is that when someone from Waziristan, from the mountains of Waziristan, goes to some village in Sindh, and those people, one cannot understand Sindhi, one cannot understand Pashto, they have the privilege to speak in Urdu because everybody can speak a little bit of Urdu and can make sense of it. So it does kind of bring us together in a way, right? I cannot speak Punjabi. If Furkan Bhai wouldn't have been able to speak English and or Urdu, I would never be able to communicate with him, right? Because they don't understand Pashto, I don't understand Punjabi. So it have actually connected us in a way. Secondly, I think when it comes to Punjabis themselves have kind of separated themselves, even though some don't accept it, but they have themselves kind of separated from their culture. Now they're coming back to it, but back in the days, most of the families, when they become a little middle class or elite class, they entirely stopped talking in Punjabi because same thing, Pendu and all that. So it's not on anyone else but themselves. That's all I have to say. Ganga ji, do you want to say something? Because then we have to close. Well, I guess Ganga ji is busy. And because Adia is the only Punjabi in this room. So, Adia, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I definitely want to say something. I think on the Pakistani side, the definition of culture is very narrow. I don't think right now you have a full understanding of what culture is. Because when I hear culture from your side, I only hear language, you know. I've not heard food. I've not heard the lifestyle. There are a lot of things. I'll give you a simple example. Being a Punjabi, if I go to Himachal, I'm a Rajput from my background, Hindu Rajput. If I go to a Hindu Rajput's family in Himachal Pradesh, everything changes. The food changes, the dialect changes, the clothing changes, the way they worship the gods changes. Every single thing changes because it's their culture. So I also have noticed that the historical context is very weak on your side, and perhaps you need to, maybe dig a little bit deeper when it comes to historical context, because anytime I will come and I will speak, people like Ali will be offended, you know. So you still see the history from the context of the current geopolitical situations, from the current religious situations, but history is very different from today. You actually have to go in that time. Little example, for Noor, Akbar, or Aurangzeb were not invaders. The left academia of India tried for over 70 years to make him Indian, as much Indian as I am or as Katie is, but the Indians have not accepted him, you know, because he was not part of our culture. So still, I see a huge gap, but it would be nice, you know, to hear more spaces like this. So good luck to you guys. Thank you. It was a good discussion. Thanks.
Thank you so much for your opinion, Adia. And I think Katie is here. Katie, sir, do you want to say something?
नहीं मैं मिस कर गया आप लोगों की बहुत सारी बातें. I missed it.
But it was fun.
I'm just trying to figure out what's to be done and all. Okay. मैं मिस कर गया. टूट गया मेरा बाजा भी टूट गया.
I guess chalo, next time. For now, we're going towards the close, and that's about it. Can't say much about it because I'm not a Punjabi, so that's it. So thank you
I
for
wanted to
listening.
add one thing before we close, and it's very simple. And the simple thing is that I kind of agree with what Adya said, but you have to understand when Islam came in, and that's what I was trying to explain to Furqan as well. When Islam came in, it changed the culture of the people who adopted that religion, from eating habits to everything else. And we share that a lot in terms of our dietary and the way we live, whether we're practicing or not. But with Muslims around the globe. And that has kind of created a legacy for over 500 million people within the subcontinent who now happen to be in a situation where they are part of this Islamic culture, because Islam basically changes a lot. I can very easily, comfortably go to Noor's house, who's a Bangladeshi, a Arab's house, or a Pashtun's house, a Iranian's house, and without any hesitation, eat something without thinking if it might taste different, but it will follow my lifestyle in that way. And that adds to a lot of culture, and that is what two nation theory is all about. I think culture is very important in terms of language and ethnicity, as much as Bangladesh has proven. They when they were religiously wanting an identity, they got that, and when their ethnic identity was attacked, they did not tolerate that either. So that's a prime example that both of your identities, part and parcel of your culture, is very important for everyone, and no other religion is any different either. That's all what I wanted to add, and that is the formation of the two nation theory as well. Whether you're Indian Muslim, Pakistani Muslim, or Bangladeshi Muslim, we have a history with these people like to call invaders. We might not like some of those characters, but at the end of the day, we're very much attached to it. Our lifestyle is attached to it. And that's all what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yeah, this reminds me, Pashtun never really had to adjust to Islamic culture because Pashtun culture was 10 times more stricter than Islam. That's all I had to say. And thank you for listening in. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's Grey BN or Grey Beyond Narratives. And press the bell button to get regular updates. We will come up with more discussion like this about historical, political, social, all kind. Till then, have a good day, good evening, and good night, and have a nice sehri. Bye-bye.
Thank you.